Okay. Good morning, everybody. So, I'm doing this one right here just because I want to go ahead and get all this out of the way in case the update does come sooner than possible, even though they're going to do the PTS and stuff. Going over some of the things I talked to with some of the people, some devs actually commented. They don't want to give out too much, but most of the stuff that we saw, the one thing I wanted to ask, because I wanted to set up that one build, was will we still see the linked laser pointer here or not? Apparently, yes, this one is going to be out there for any build to be put onto, so that means you could literally put this linked laser pointer onto a firewall. You could put it onto crossbow, whatever. That's going to give you that ability. So that will not be going away, but it will be moved around just the same. The main thing was also the grenades. They're probably going to be keeping the grenades to these specific ones because, again, they don't want the PvP to just be overrun by that, but they still are leaning towards moving them around and stuff. So that is the possibilities that we're looking at. Again, nothing in this is confirmed until the devs actually finalize it and say that, you know, hey, we are going to do this, because they can come back and go back on their word. But as for the specialist skills, like the Artificer Hive, this is 100% confirmed that things like this, the mortar turret on here, all these can be moved to different ones. So with that being noted, we're talking about these lasers, the turrets and stuff like that. Those will be moving to different ones, and because of that, that's kind of easy to figure out what we're going to put these things onto. Now when it comes to grenades and stuff like that, that's going to be on player's choice, but because we do know that these lasers, not only that, but what does this one give? This one gives this ammo box, so we can literally put a huge ammo box on some of our other builds if we wanted to. We could even put this crit hit damage right here off of this onto whatever build we wanted to. We could put the firewall shield, which is on this one right now, to Grenadier if we wanted to. So that's going to make some of these builds so much easier for me to just go ahead and get this out of the way, that we're just going to go over the builds. So, of course, we want the sniper specialist for the headshot damage. Now, if that stays here, cool. We don't know, because that's the only part to this that we do not know. These things right here, as we see where it says they get the extra headshot damage. This stuff right here, we don't know if this will be in the linear to get or not. So I'm just going to do this one here. This video is going to be about where you're going to be putting your skills, like this one right here, the drone, and things like this right here, the digital scopes and stuff like that, where you're going to be putting that in. So until we know what this tree is going to look like, we're just going over the equipment, the pieces you can put onto there, and then we'll go from that later on, and I'll make a different video showing how it's changed, because again, we don't know if this is going to still be here, this headshot damage with rifles and marksmans. That may be going away. We don't know. We could just see damage or something like that. We don't know if these specific pieces are going to be here. So I can't speculate onto this, but if it is, we're still going to want the sniper specialist. So, DPS build. Very simple. Now, you don't have to use focus if you don't want to here, okay? Focus will give you the strongest damage in the game, period. Now, on your rifle for here, as you see, I have boomerang. The strongest one is going to be rifleman, but you can go with boomerang if you want to get even more if you're not good at landing headshots. Because we're also using the sniper specialist, we have the headshot damage with the digital scope, so we can land those shots. The crit hit damage targets out of cover, it's pretty much vital on your M1A, whatever M1A you're going to use. Now, me personally, I go with this crit hit damage. Now, here's the cool part, and this is another thing we don't know, because the devs may even say that you can only have one of these special ones on here. If not, and we can throw this on here, what we would end up doing is taking this 10% and jumping it up onto there. So if it's not linked to the specialist, which they say it's not, but it still says you only have one of these like an exotic, then we're kind of screwed. If not, and this is what I'm saying, because the devs, they'll mess this up. They'll say, hey, it's not linked to here, but somehow or another it may be one piece or not. And that's why I want to bring this to y'all in this video, this entire video. And it's going to be a long video, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to stick around for this. Because if they mess this up, they may say it's not linked to this one, but we do get to have both of these on here, and then you try to, and it won't let you. Now, you could even go with a crit chance if you wanted, but we could also put the Grenadier one to get the extra crit chance, the 2% more if you wanted. But I would go with this, because you're most likely with this build, DPS, you're going to be far away. And because you're going to be far away, that's going to give you the 25% crit chance, which will max this out at 60% crit chance. So rather than going for the crit chance on this, go with the crit damage. So put your crit damage here, and right here just get you some extra rounds. It's pretty easy. Now for another good backup for this, because you're using focus, if you're not, you're going to use glass cannon or obliterate, which are the three strongest ones for this. If you're using focus, Kingbreaker, of course, all the way. Crit chance here if you can, because with this one, again, let's show you the stats first. You see we're sitting at 49%. You can take that piece off, because this is going to be for a closer and personal one. You can leave the crit chance on here, but if you want to, and again, that's if they allow us, you can put this crit chance right here and get 2% more. Because this is close and personal, you're not worried about the crit chance, you're worried about getting the crit damage out of the Coyote's mask. Go with the crit chance. Now I have this Omega rifle barrel, or sorry, I have this on the muzzle, the 20% stability, because it turns this Kingbreaker into a laser beam just by doing this. Rather than going for the crit chance and the crit damage, put this on here. It'll increase your bullets hitting the target. 20 rounds right here. And hey, but by the way, devs, if you do see this, what the hell, we still can't do anything with this one, but you went in and you fixed this one. See, now I only got the petroglyph. I used to be able to put the other one on here, and now I can't. So yeah, y'all went and did that. Backup is, of course, the orbit. Get you one with damage target cover, reload speed, crit chance here. Now, there's not a whole lot you can put on. You can put headshot damage. You can definitely put the headshot damage here. It's going to lower your range. That doesn't matter. Getting that crit chance out or stability is just as good. You can even go weapon handling, player's choice, whatever you want on here, honestly. Stability, so you can hit that long range shot, get the kill. It really doesn't matter, but you're only going to get the reload speed for this, so just put it on. We do have one piece Seska, one piece Grupo, and the Araldis. Now, you can go with whatever you want for focus. You can even go put Walker and Harris, Grupo, Seska, but this is going to give you the most damage as you potentially can out of this. Petrov gloves, Overlord knee pads. Now, if you don't want to use the focus, there's only two other talents I would suggest you use on here, and that's going to be the perfect glass cannon. So you're going to put this chest piece of sacrifice on to get the damage out, and you'll hit near the max of what you're seeing right here, or go and get you obliterate, an obliterate type chest piece. So if you're going to do that right here for this build, I would go get you a Walker obliterate, so that way your weapon damage is going to hit higher, and so you're not taking in as much damage. You can even go with the Walker glass cannon. That way you can get near the same amount, and you can keep the crit chance, the crit damage, the multiplicatives, and everything. Then we'll go down here and show you some of the numbers. And like I said, because we're going to be hitting far away targets, we'll put it at the 20. You see we're creating pretty easily on this. Now I can show you the max, which would be crit damage. Let's get a kill over there. You see we're almost hitting for 7.1 right there. Yeah, I've been able to get it to almost 9 mil, and that's with everybody in countdown giving me all the extra buffs from different specialists and stuff. So 7.1 would be the max you would see with this M1A. Now with the Kingbreaker, let's put it for mid-range. See, we got the crit chance out. We got the crit damage for the mid, and I can do the same with this. I can put this for close. Yep, you saw it, 2 point something. That's on the health. So we can hit 1.8 up close. And that's with other people giving this the Coyote procs. That's maxed out crit chance, getting us the max crit damage on there. So you can hit 2 point something mil on the head on health, 1.8 max on the head with armor. So there's your DPS. Now, Glass Cannon is going to hit roughly on an average about 2 to 1k less than this per bullet. That's the same. It's 2k on this one, 1k for this one. That's the difference between Glass Cannon and Focus. So it's less, and you're taking in more versus this right here. As long as you're aimed with those scopes, you're going to hit for the same amount. So your strongest DPS is going to be this. Now, alright. Skills. Like I said, it's going to be a very long video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go through every single build. Now, skills. We don't know, again, and this is the part I'm trying to tell y'all, we don't know if this is going to be here, this extra skill tier. It is supposed to be here. Don't really know if it is or not going to stay here. We don't know about these, but what we do know is the skills themselves, and these right here are going to be open to move around for your build. So, because of that, we still do not know if I don't know why that's on LMG. It needs to be right there. Because of which, we do know we can move these around, and we don't even know if this is going to be here. This might be automatic. This may change. Things like that. Party members disrupt, all that. We don't know if this is going to be here. So I'm basing all this video off of what we do know of the skills and the laser pointers, things like that, these little extra pieces that will be on these builds. So for anybody who's new, that's what we're going by. So, skill build. After looking all the specialists over, going through notes that I have, this is still going to be your strongest skill build, how it's set up, and that's, I mean, you could potentially put on the Grenadier, because why? This one piece right here would give you the extra ammunition and the turret's damage. You could even put that on here if you wanted to, because those will still be there. So let's say the skill tier gets dropped off, you could put this extra skill damage in here, because maybe the technician loses the skill damage. So if you do happen to lose that, you can put this Grenadier on, because these mods will also be here. We can get the skill damage out that way. That's an extra 5%. So these two will possibly be your best for your skill build. And the build itself is still going to be the same. The weapons. You're basically using the capacitor for the yellow cores to get the weapon damage out and to get the most skill damage. The backup of harmony, so that way if you were to lose out on AR ammo because you run out, you can go to a rifle. Now, I personally have damage to armor on my harmony because I'm also using that for my mortar build. And because damage to armor helps out, I can easily hit them with one shot, and then boom, I get the damage to armor. Now, as for here, we have in sync the card 45. I go with damage targets out of cover on this because I want to kill them with a very weak pistol. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage, but I can get the damage out with the crit chance. So crit chance, crit chance, crit chance, and then round size. Now, finding one of these pieces that looks like this is going to be your hardest feat at times, because sometimes you just get skill damage or you just get skill haste, and then you got to roll one of the other ones on there. If you happen to find one, cool. Get this. Now, it doesn't have to be Empress. You could even find a Hannah U backpack that looks just like this one. Roll the skill tier off. You could find a set of gloves. You could find a set of knee pads. You could find a chest piece. It does not have to be looking exactly like this. The only part you want that will be in these spots is the Hannah U backpack, the force multiplier, and the Waveform holster. Now, controversial. A lot of people think that the Waveform is not the best piece. Yes, I can put a second piece of Hannah U here if I wanted to. But in total, I will lose 20% skill damage. Why? Because this is a 30 stack. If I put on a second piece of Hannah U, I'm only going to gain 10. Now, that is a constant 10, okay, versus a 20 that varies between one skill or the other. But because I'm using two skills of damage, two down here, I will get 20 to this one when I lose 20 to this one. Or I'll gain 20 to this one when I lose 20 to this one. So I will always have 20% from this going to one of these two right here. So it doesn't matter which one. I will never lose that extra damage. Now, if I were to put a Artificer Hive on here, yes, I'm not gaining any damage. Nothing. I gain nothing. So that's not beneficial. So putting two damage skills on here is better to not waste this percentage that you would have. Now, I have a video out, and I showed this in one of mine, that glass cannon versus perfect glass cannon. That the regular glass cannon will let you survive that sniper dog shot. I was able to survive with a minuscule amount of health. Now, I'm also going to show you in this video that this chest piece does not hit that much more than your regular one that everybody says, oh, this is the better chest piece, this is so much stronger. This one. See, I have maxed out skill damage. I even got a skill tier on here. So, let's go show you some numbers. $273, 694. That's what the turret hits for. And it's still going up. And we max out at 302,810. 302,810. That's what we max out for. And that's with this build. So let's go down and put this one, 302. I don't have to put a mod in here. Okay, I don't have to. All I need to do is make sure that I have the damage on, because the mod would just give me skill haste. So I'm not going to put a mod on there. So we're sitting at 302. 302,964 versus 303. Yeah, like I said, you're only going to hit for like, what is it, about, I think it was close to like 500 more per bullet on this turret. So you get 500 more bullet on damage per the turret bullet, but you take in 10% more, so if you get sniped, you're dead. So that does not help your survivability. This is your best option to get the most damage and survivability out. Now, I don't know if that's on y'all, if that's what y'all would prefer. Again, you don't have to. You can run this if you wanted to get that extra little bit of damage out, but that also means you take one shot, you're gone. Period. End of story. You're just dead. So, player's choice on that one. But again, skill damage, skill haste, everywhere. Very simple. Okay, next one. Now, this here is controversial. And I have actually tested this. I've had DVS, I've had DZL, our guys DRH. We have gone into the Dark Zone and tested this. This is literally the strongest heal build you will come across, minus using the BTSU gloves, in the Dark Zone. This is the absolute strongest. Now, there is a glitch to the system that I'm praying the gods to the gods of the devs community that they do not fix this. Now, the incoming repairs. The incoming repair skills goes with this crossbow. And again, this is why we're talking about this now, because this may change. If it does change and we lose that, you definitely want the Future Initiative backpack. Now, the reason why I say this is because this part right here, the increased outgoing healing, we do not know if this is going to be here or not. We have no clue. So if we happen to lose this, this build is going to lose a lot of healing ability. Then the RNK literally becomes bullcrap. It is literally pointless. There is no reason to keep this. But until that is confirmed, this is the build you want for the Dark Zone for heals. Now, the glitch to the system, which is current going on right now, is one piece of Richter and Kaiser, which gives incoming repairs. If I heal an ally right now, I give them the heals. This is increased outgoing healing, and because I've healed them, it comes to me. That is how you get that 15% to them. It also comes to you, and then you also get this 20%. So now you personally have gained 35% incoming repairs to heal yourself to keep the safeguard going. Now you can literally be where you can see your players' nameplates that far away, and that 30% will still count. You can actually be somewhere where you can still see their blue circle and your hive is on the ground. It will still count and give you that 30%, which will keep your safeguard up to full armor. That is how you use this. Now, what I mean by controversial part is this. A lot of people do not understand this, and they make it seem like this is a better version, and it's really not. Now, what I mean is this future backpack. It says increase ground control proximity repair from 60 to 120%. But they're forgetting that this only works when you repair an ally and you and all allies within 5 meters are also repaired. So this 20% only works, or that 120% only works right, let me put this down. See if I can find it. You see this little white ring right here on my screen? Hopefully y'all can see it. It's very hard to see sometimes. But you see that little white ring right there? That's the 5 meter mark. That is the 5 meter mark. Now it's not from right here. That is from like the edge of this ring to right over there. That's the 5 meter mark. Okay? That's it. 5 meters in here is right here. As you can see, I were to toss this hive right underneath. See if I can make it land right underneath them. We'll say right there. You can see 5 meter mark. From there, it is right here. So that's what I mean. It's a second ring. So that inner ring within there, from that corner to that corner over there, that is the 5 meter mark. Or from the center of that to right here at this line. So if a player is, say, right there where that ad or that decoy, the shooting target is, to right here where I'm standing, and I heal him, I heal myself. But once I step out outside that ring right there, they do not get that 120%. I don't get that 120%. No one gets that 120%. So it's one player. For instance, like me, a healer, and another player I'm healing. We would not heal each other. So that's 0%. Versus if I have Safeguard, as long as I'm at full armor, I get 100%. So now I get the future initiative of 60 and the 100%. So I gain 60 if I'm inside this ring, plus my 100, and as long as I'm at full armor, I get 100 out here past this ring, and further, like out towards that way, like out here by this side of the ring, I would get 100%, and that's it. Now, let's say I have 2 players inside there. Okay? I have this one, and I have this guy over here. I have him, and I have him. I heal him, and he's standing right there. He's still within that 5 meters. Those guys right there get 160%, and while I'm out here, I'm getting 100%. This is why Safeguard is your best thing to put on here. Now, you can trade the Empathetic Resolve off and put on, say, an Alps Safeguard, and then put on the BTSU gloves if you wanted to. And then run the Future Initiative chess piece to where you can always have 25. But we run the Empathetic Resolve because while the Future gives you 15, this gives them an extra 15 just by healing them because they're going to be taking damage. Now everybody has 30%. So this is literally your strongest heal build for PvP. Okay? Now, is it good for PvE? Oh yes, definitely. I would not take this, though, into PvE because, one, in most of them you're going to be doing raids, you want the BTSU gloves. So if you're going to use the BTSU gloves, throw it on, make it look like this. Go ahead and throw yourself on the future chest piece, but get that RNK backpack. Get this versus the Alps. Reason why is because you heal them, they heal you, keeps your Safeguard up, which gives them the extreme heals. This RNK piece is the best backpack, which is why I believe if they ever give us a perfect Safeguard and say it's 120% or 140%, something like that for a perfect Safeguard, it needs to be on an RNK. So, let's see. Eclipse. Now, we showed in the damage to health piece what I meant, and this has kind of been somewhat misunderstood by a few people. The damage to health, it does help, but it only helps the weapon. Okay? So the damage to health is going to help your weapon to where you can do damage to chongas and stuff like that. But because their armor pieces are also health, and dogs themselves are health, the Jammer Pulse and the EMP Sticky get extra damage if you have damage to health on your weapon. That is what will take off their armor chunks faster. So things like what's it called? Having damage to health maybe on your build would also increase the crossbow's ability to tear off their armor chunks. And that's another reason why we're using the crossbow, is because if I can rip that Chonga's armor plate off on their chest piece and it pops it off with just one crossbow, I can now get to them with my status. So a lot of people want to run this with the launcher to get the extra skill damage out. That's fine, but you're missing out on being able to take out those chongas faster by hitting them with the crossbow bolt, or even the dogs, taking that off of them, and then getting your status to actually affect them. Now, other people want to run this because of the fire. This is only going to give you a 1.2 second longer burn duration. But, again, because this is changing, we need to go over what we're going to be looking at for skills. Now, this Artificer Hive, if you can, honestly, it would be great to throw the Artificer Hive onto this build and still keep, if, and this is a giant if this still allows your teammates to gain, what is it, this right here. Group members get 10% damage to targets with status. Now, why do I say that? Is because two things. I can get this burn to hit for roughly, I believe it was, the Artificer Hive is at, I think it's like at 71% for me right now. So that's 71% more in damage that I could put onto this and just run around and burn people. And the Artificer Hive doesn't even have to be dropped on the ground. I can just put it on my backpack and go to town and burn them at 70% more. And still give my teammates the extra 10%, tear off Chonga's armor, and go to town. That would make this build so much stronger. Now, again, you don't have to go with the damage to health on your shotgun or something like that. But having a shotgun still with perpetuation is way more vital than anything. Because you want this damaged armor. You want as much damaged armor as you can get. Because that's going to increase your status damage. So having a shotgun with perpetuation is more important. The Vile Mask, we've showed in that one video that the Vile Mask is going to be more damage than, say, a second piece of Wyvern. So even if I put a piece of Golan and Wyvern, or Wyvern and Wyvern, this mask is going to give you more damage, period. End of story. Now, I would love to see the devs rework this where it doesn't say hazard protection. I wish it said skill damage. I really wish it did. But we're probably not going to see that. If we did, dude, yeah, this would hit so much better. But you want the backpack because it's going to give you the 30% more in the skill damage when you do a status effect. So it's right here. Amplifies all weapons you deal to your status affected targets by 30%. So since it's going to automatically transfer, cool. Now, you don't have to use a glass cannon. I prefer it because, one, I want my weapons to hit not just my status. Because there have been times where I need to use the shotgun, and if I don't have this glass cannon on here, it feels like you're shooting marshmallows. So, having the glass cannon with this, it just makes your weapon and your statuses all hit harder. Period. So, it's player's choice. If you don't run this, just get you a second piece of Wyvern or Golan and put it on here. Now, if you happen to get a Golan, go find you one like this that you can roll the armor core off. This is literally only going to give you 0.4 seconds more in status effect duration. But that 0.4 seconds is still longer than this. But the Wyvern will give your skills more damage. So the initial burn that you do, the explosive part, is going to give this skill more damage than a Golan. So it's player's choice. Golan or Wyvern. Golan or Wyvern. Me, I'd rather have a Wyvern. The Wyvern period will give you more damage. So go get you a Wyvern. Status effects everywhere else. And again, the damage to health will help against dogs. So when you come up jammer pulses, that's why we have this. So let's show you the difference between... Actually, I don't think I have a shotgun I can put on there. That doesn't have... Oh, you know what? I can do this. Let me show you the difference by doing this. a weapon with no damage to armor versus a weapon with damage to armor. And then I'll show you the difference in this. So, okay, we got an elite target. Set it for here. So right now we're hitting for 4-4 plus 100, so we're hitting for 544. 544. So now that we know we're hitting for 544, I'm going to switch to this weapon. Shotgun. It's got damage to armor. $497 and 112. So we're hitting for 600. Now you see when it went to health, it went back to 44 and 100. So that's the same. Like I said, the damage to health does not help this, but what it does help is your weapon. Your weapon will be helped with that. Now damage to health also helps against, like I said, the Chonga's armor plates, the dogs, the Wally tanks. So because we know that it does keep it flat and even, that's also going to help when it comes down to using this jammer pulse against the dogs, because dogs are health damage. So, now, let's go ahead and get this shotgun procced. I'll even aim right here at the neck. See how it didn't land? But I aim just a little bit higher, and it does. One shot, that's all you need. And since the shotgun's going to land it, you get that. So we were hitting for close to 600k, right? Let's see what we hit now. Oh my god, I couldn't even record that. 619 and like 140 or something like that. We were basically hitting for 750k. 750k. Let's do it one more time. Let's see if we can get this thing to go, because it killed that thing so fast. Matter of fact, let's up it. There we go. 619 and 144. So yeah, 700k per burn. So, again, is this going to be strong enough to kill that target? Probably not. So, let's go ahead and put on the Scorpio shotgun. Now, again, this is why I prefer to have glass cannon, is because of this. Now my shotgun's actual shots can do damage. Ooh, toasty little critters. So, that's this. That's your Eclipse. Let's see here. What else are we going to go to? Okay. Explosive. Now, mortar builds. Like we said, we do not know if this right here, we do not know if this is going to be here. If this is not, if this right here is not there, we are definitely going to be going to something like this. That's if the skill tier is here. And it's going to give us extra damage to these, you know, and that's if this is here. Because of that, we don't know if this is going to be here, but we do know that the mortar will be able to be moved to anything, which will allow us to do things like putting it onto the technician. So is this stronger than this? Is the mortar stronger than, or the grenadier stronger than this? Technically, right now, yes it is. Because you can have this 10% skilled damage, which is right here. You get a free skill tier, which would allow you to put weapon damage where you want it. And you can still have on your mortar, where this 5% damage is here, you can actually put on this 10% right now, which would be the exact same. And because we would get the skill damage, which is over there of the 10%, and this skill damage right here, we could put this 5% into it to where it would be 15%. Now, does that make it the strongest? No, because the mortar itself currently with this is 10% plus the 10% on there. That's 20, right? We have 15 for skill damage over here by having the 5 and the 10. So we gain in weapon damage 15% more, and we would gain 15 skill damage. So the technician would become the new stronger piece. That's if this is lost. That's if this piece right here is lost. Now, that's also assuming that this here is not lost. So this is going to literally be a play-by-play. Expect the mortar build to be a play-by-play. But the cool part that we're looking at is the mortar could also gain the artificer hive. So let's go on a hypothetical and say that this is all staying the same. Let's say we keep this 10% and we get the 10% from the mortar, which is over here, right? We get the extra 10% damage right here. Now we also get to gain the artificer hive. So I can make this build with this mortar gain this extra damage from the artificer hive because I can throw this over here. Oh, that makes that mortar just super OP. I mean, there is nothing, there's no skill build out there that's going to beat that mortar. That mortar's just going to walk around and slap legendary content down like it's nothing. So, with that being said, make sure I save this because I went and messed with it earlier. I took that skill damage piece off. I want to make sure it's still okay. There's 10%. Got my duration. I can actually throw in an extra mortar here versus the duration. Yeah, I did mess with this a little bit. Okay, so again, we gain this holsters 20% to any of these that we use. Now, it doesn't matter which one you use, but you can use this. You get it back in every 15 seconds. Now, the traps are great for camping if you know what door they're going to be coming out of. But we did learn something from the update, that the traps in TU17 for PvP will be gone. They will no longer be in PvP. So all y'all who've been using trap builds or using traps, expect these to be gone the way of the dodo and the dark zone. It's basically the same with the Imperial Dynasty holster. This is gone the way of the dodo and the dark zone. The armor break from this firewall. When you break your armor, this right here, as you see, disabled in PvP, you'll be seeing that on the traps. There will be no more trap builds. Sorry to tell you, it's gone. TU17, that's what they stated. Now, whether they keep their word or not, we don't know. But other than that, you can use any kind of explosive on here. You can use seeker mines, cluster seeker mine, regular explosive seeker mine, bombardier drone. Even though this one used to be OP, they nerfed the crap out of this one. This right here was like a tactical nuke coming in. There was no avoiding this. You were in a straightaway, you were gone. So explosives, burster firefly. Another good one you put on here. This one here also used to be extremely strong. It's gone. So, yeah. Now, if we're able to trade these pieces off, again, you just want one of these, like the Grupo or the Petrov gloves, where it doesn't have a skill tier. You could roll armor to it, or weapon damage, because you can put that on the technician. So, mortar build, this is as simple as it is. Now, this is the strongest one. Literally the strongest one. For some reason, the explosive damage from the Grupo, this 15% that we're talking about, does more damage than these three combined with the skill damage and skill efficiency for some reason. I don't know why. But for one, this Wyvern would give you the extra skill damage, the 2-piece Grupo, which is 15, which was the skill damage by explosive because you're using explosive, would also give you, I think it was, what, 5, in short, in layman's terms, it would give you like 5% more in skill damage because it's an explosive and you're going towards the explosive. So think of it this way. I'd have 20% from here. Skill damage, the skill efficiency would give me 20% more in skill damage as well. The Wyvern right here would give me 10%, and these 2-piece Grupo would give me 25%. So it's 20 versus 25 if you want to do it in layman's terms. Yes, it's more technical. Yes, there's other numbers to it, but some people don't understand these things. So trying to give it to you guys and not trying to be rude or anything, if you put it down, it's like for easy explanation. If you want to look at it that way, it's 25 versus 20. Okay. And then you get the China with an extra 15 for explosive damage, and the Petrov gloves, the damage to armor. Now, the Mortar does damage to armor. Does not go anything by damage targets out of cover, no damage to health, anything like that. It's just damage to armor. So, we use this right here to get the extra damage to armor and the skill damage, and on top of that, because it does a bleed effect, the damage to armor applies to that as well. That's where this set of gloves comes in clutch. Now, the hard part about making this build is the Grupo. You can easily find a Wyvern chest piece like this, which you've seen on my other skill build. That's why I use it. So trying to find these 2 Grupos in these 2 spots is going to be your hardest feat to find. Now, if you're able to, it's literally finding ones with skill haste, skill damage, rolling to skill tier. Now, again, because the update, it may change to Technician. You may not need to find both of them. You may only need one. One that you can roll to a skill tier. Because the other one can be a red. Make it that easy. If you get the Petrov gloves, they always come with something random on the bottom as an attribute, so it's only one attribute you got to roll. Finding ones with skill damage, just easy. Roll it to skill tier. That way you don't have to worry about the Grupo. Okay? So, we have the Harmony on with damaged armor, so we can get the NSYNC out. We have the Capacitor with the damaged armor as well in our hands. And if you wanted to, you could even go, because you want the shotgun, you could do the exact same. Go get you a shotgun, you know, something like this one down here, the double barrel I have, and go and get yourself NSYNC on it, you know. It doesn't have to be the double barrel. It could be M870. It could be the ACS-12, whatever. Just get you a shotgun because you get that damage to armor on there, and then get you NSYNC. And then, say, damage targets out of cover on the bottom. Same thing down here. Backup boomstick. I'm still looking for one with NSYNC. So I can get the extra shotgun damage out, damage to armor, whatever you wanted down here. And then Mortar and so on. So let's go show you some numbers on this. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a long video. If you're going to stay in for this, and this is all a build breakdown and what we're looking at for what we do know. No? Really? Okay, never mind. Alright, here it comes, transferring over. That was an 11. 11 mil. And then let's put on... Let's pray to God we can get this thing to proc. Oh, it's already transferring over. Dang it. 9 point something. There we go. 14. I don't know why the mortar sometimes goes to 9.4, 9.2. It's random at its explosive versus other ones are just straight up. I do not know why it does that sometimes. .5, and then flatline 12.7. So yeah, there's your explosive build, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to go over the team support. Now, honestly, the team support build, the only reason why I'm using the technician right now is because of the artificer hive. If I can find one, and even right now, if I could find one, you'd want to find a setup like this backpack with the armor core that you can roll to skill tier. Now, the reason I'm telling you all that is because if you can do this, you can then, when the update comes out, and that's if they keep this increased outgoing healing part, you can literally get that extra outgoing healing for your teammates to heal them up. You're also going to gain, and that's if they keep this, because we don't know if they're keeping this. Again, all we know that they're keeping are the skills, and these right here will be able to go to any build that you want. So if they allow that, and say this here is this is still here, you're going to gain extra ammo, and it's right here, the 10% skill haste. You're going to gain the skill haste. So you're going to be able to get your skills back faster. This is also going to protect you from elites, and at the same time give the outgoing healing. That's if they keep this. And then we can actually throw on the artificer hive, because we'll be at 6 skill tiers total, and we can put the artificer hive on without having to use the technician. So since we have got confirmation that this will be moving around, we're going to make that type of build, and we're still going to be trying to farm for those pieces. So doing this this build right here also will go up by 10%. Now, how do we get that extra 10%? Right here. And again, that's if they keep this as well. So the survivalists will gain your teammates an extra 10% bonus damage to status affected enemies. So this build right now, currently, is gaining your teammates 20 on Chongas, because but one shot from this build right here, and they have skills or even damage on, the reds, yellows, purples are pretty much just dead. Chongas are the only ones that take a lot more damage, so you're only going to give this 20% to the Chongas. So there's your 20% right there. You're giving them 25% as well from this build right here off the chest piece. So there's 45%. Okay. You're then giving them 15 from perfectly opportunistic. So now we're sitting at 60% bonus weapon damage to your teammates to whatever they shoot that you have tagged. If we put the crossbow on, and again, that's if they keep that, that's an extra 10. We're talking 70% added bonus weapon damage to enemies, to targets, to anything that you shoot, that you hit them with this weapon alone, they're going to get. Now, you can also give them overclock, but it's only for 15 seconds. But that 15 seconds will boost this, and this is what I'm still trying to understand. Maybe someone else can explain this to me, because for some reason I don't get what happened here. It used to say, like for instance, it says right here, charge efficiency, right? But I scroll up, it says buff amount. That charge efficiency used to just be, okay, you got X amount of buff. So it went up 10%, 20%, whatever it was, 30%. And it was always at 70. We always knew it was 70. So let's say 600% is your charge efficiency, right? and that's sitting at 70%. Well, when I overcharge, it goes to 700%. Is that gaining an extra 100? Because, I mean, if I go from here to here, that's 50 versus, or 500 charge efficiency to 600. That's only 10, and I've gained, and I know that this went from 60 to 70, so is it 10%? And if it's 10%, that means my overcharge is now going to give their skills 80% buff amount. So apparently this got a nerf, and we didn't even realize it, because it used to go from, I used to have about 130% total on the deal to when I overcharged to 165. So that was literally like 35% more in buff amount, and now I'm only giving them 10. So this build got a nerf, and we didn't even realize it. This hive, the Artificer hive, got a nerf, and nobody caught it. I caught it yesterday, and this is another reason why I was making this video. I caught that this Artificer hive got a nerf, and you can go back to some of my other videos, and you'll see that in my build videos, it went from 130 or 100 and it was 140 something percent to 165%. It jumped up, so we had like 25% or more. Now we're only getting 10. So think about that. They didn't even put that in patch notes, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't even talk about it. Didn't even say anything. They silently nerfed this hive. Yeah. Thanks, Debs. Appreciate it. So, after that small rant, but yeah, you would give overcharge to their turrets and stuff like that. So, this is going to be the hardest one for me to demonstrate for this build down here, but I'm going to try to demonstrate it. I've done it before. It's very complex to demonstrate. So, first of all, we have to take off the Artificer hive. I have to put on a turret. I have to take off all of this. So, first of all, we do not have the 25% damage from this because I damaged myself. I'm only going to first give you the 10% or the 15% from this. Now, this is the first 15%, okay? No percentage, 73% on the target, or 73k. One shot, 84. So that's 15% right there. Now remember that number, 73. Okay, for all y'all watching, 73k. So now I heal myself up. Goes to 91. So now we've got the 25. I shoot. Now we get 15 plus the 25. We're at 105. So I'm going to let this one target one of those over there. And it's still not enough. Let me take it up to the next level. $126. So that's what the 20%. That's what the 20% from this. That's what the damage from this and this. Now let's throw on the Artificer hive. That still isn't max. Let's get a full mag. There's 8. 165. So we went from 73 to 165. Now this is on my turret. This is a very weak turret. So imagine my 300 something K turret jumping up to almost 500 to 600k per bullet. Now we're going to overcharge. We're going to give our turret the extra damage, get everything going. You see? So let's put a target over here. Make these ones a little harder to kill. So the turret can actually stop shooting Let's stack this thing up. $73 to 201. Ladies and gentlemen, 73K on a turret to 201. That's the damage you can jump someone's stuff up to. Now you can go do the math on that versus putting this build on to, I think it was 700K per bullet on this turret by adding this build into a legendary. That's also the same for their weapon damage. We're talking 60% weapon damage. And this can only go up an extra 10% by going on putting on the crossbow when we give that extra damage later on. Alright, so Hasbro builds. We got to talk about Hasbro. Now, currently, right now, we're using this to avoid the extra 20% status effect damage. Okay, and we're talking burn damage. Now, it's right here. Increase burn resistance by 20%. Now, with this, because we can throw around this, we could throw around whatever skills, but again, we don't know if this stuff is going to be here or not. If it is, we will stick to the Grenadier because we need that extra 20%. Now, this build, because this is mostly about stats, you see we're sitting at 90%. Now, bleed resistance, I believe, only needs to go to 92. Okay, because we're at 90%, literally you're going to take a little bit of bleed and you're gone. It's gone. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. Whatever. And with this build, you can even throw on, if you wanted to, because of the bleed loss, you can put on the backfire. You get some crit chance, you get some crit damage, and then you boost out even more crit damage. So if you wanted to, you could even throw the backfire versus the Eagle Bearer on this build. Now, because this one is mostly about stats, this one is not mostly about anything special. I'm just going to go over a very simple breakdown. Now, I have Companion on. The reason I have Companion is because I'm nearby my teammates. I'm nearby a healer in the Dark Zone who's going to keep me alive. I'm nearby their skill that's going to keep me alive. Because this build, again, it's just survivability against status. Otherwise, you're not going to have any armor regen, nothing special on this. But because we have crit damage everywhere and no crit chance, you can easily throw on an SMG. As you see, we have the backfire here, which gives us 58% crit chance. And then we have 110, which we can boost this up 200% more to have 310% crit hit damage. Now, that's constantly fighting, you know, always keeping that thing procced. If you're not, you can easily just throw on the Eagle Bearer. Cat, I will kick you across the room. You can throw on the Eagle Bearer because the tenacity buff also stops status effects. So, before we get into the build, I'm going to demonstrate these two so you can understand where it's coming from. So, we get our Companion proc. You see we're critting pretty high. But as we see, we're red right now. That's tenacity. That tenacity buff will keep you from taking any status effects, any kind of damage. And since you're pretty much status effect already, nothing's going to hit you. So you don't have to do that. You can go with a backfire. Look, we reload. There's the bleed. Bleed gone. Bleed on, bleed off. Bleed on, bleed off. Now we're at 200. Let's see what we can get. 419. chest. $530 on the head. So it's not the strongest piece for this. So again, you can go with whatever you want. You can go Lady of Death. You can go Chatterbox. I would stick to SMGs for this, but another good one is a Shield Splinter because you're doing all that damage. You're not worried about anything else. You don't have anything special. Go with the Shield Splinter. Honestly, it's the most underrated gun in the game because people prefer FAMASs. But you're only losing a little bit of RPM to gain even more weapon damage by the 4% right here. So having that as a good backup is another good deal. And since we're using the Seska anyways, our Eagle Bear and this here is going to hit for 42. Now, if other teammates of yours or happen to be running Coyotes, they might give you the crit chance that you need versus the crit damage. Because, again, we're sitting at 120. And who knows, maybe they're closer than you are. They might give you the crit damage that you need. So, again, still a good way to set this one up. Now, the setup for it is easy. You can, if you want to, because, again, we're showing you that we're sitting at 90% hazard protection right here, right? We're sitting at 90% for all the bleeds, and except for 100% for the burn. You can throw on a piece of Grupo for any one of these Seskas, or, you know, if you say you have a Fenris chest piece like this, that's fine. Trade out one of these here for a Grupo. Trade out a Seska for Grupo. And it's literally that easy. You'll still be at 80% on everything else, but you're going to be able to get more damage out, and you're going to be able to still be able to survive 100% of the burns, because burns are the only thing in this game you really have to avoid the most of in PvP. So you can still be at 100% burn resistance with this type of build and avoid all the other stuff. Now, this Y'all gear as well does not need to be here. I happened to find a Y'all gear that looked like this that I was able to roll companion or whatever I wanted onto it. So this has been my go-to. You can go and craft a mask, a chest piece, or a holster over at the vendor if you have Y'all gear. You just have to go get those parts. So putting the Y'all gear here and then say putting Fenris, Seska, Grupo, or whatever on your backpack, just as good. Now for here, this is another thing controversial. You can use Grupo gloves rather than the Petrov ones that look the same. Get the crit damage out and do it that way. That's fine. I'm going for the multiplicative because I may need to shoot someone's skill, someone's, something. God knows what. I want these multiplicatives here. So, since they already come with one attribute that's going to be random, it's easy to find those ones and then roll the core to armor. So, I went with these two to get the most out. Now, you definitely want the foxes the most, more than the gloves, but get the foxes, work with that, and then work your build around. Do as you need to. Orbit as your backup, and pretty much whatever skill you want. Because you're going to be status pro and your other teammates are not, you could even go and put on a booster hive to help them out because you're the anti-status guy. Put on this. Don't be stingy. Help your teammates out. Help them avoid the statuses. Put on this. Stem charges. Duration. The stem efficiency. Throw this on to your build. Help your teammates out. Defender drone. Decoy. Whatever else you want. Player's choice. Now, on the chest piece, I go unbreakable because just because I'm status pro does not mean I'm going to survive. Put on the unbreakable. Use it. Learn to live with it. Let's see here. DZ status. This one here is a status build for the Dark Zone. This one can be used in PvP. But the reason why this one is for the DZ is because you need to have the Creeping Death and you need to have the Glass Cannon to kill them. Now, I don't know why. I have seen people running Unbreakable. I'm not going to say Unbreakable is not good for it. And I just don't see how they're getting that damage out on players with the Unbreakable. Maybe there's a glitch. Maybe there's a bug. I don't know. But definitely needs to be something that needs to be looked at. I still haven't saved that. Need to save it. There's another reason why I'm also going over this with y'all. There we go. Put that on. Save it. And that way, if I swap to either weapon, they both have the max damage to armor to do the max damage. But yeah, in here, it's really just about the skill. There's nothing more to this except for choosing whether you want the burn sticky, you want the chem launcher, you want the bleed hive, or do you want the jammer pulse to help your teammates out. That's honestly your player's choice, but the build is very simple. Everything is status effect, skill damage, 3-piece Empress, 1-piece or 2-piece Wyvern, 1-piece Golem. To get the most skill damage status effects out of it, it's this setup right here. Skill haste everywhere else. Now, again, we are currently using this. Now, as I said before, get you the Golem that you can trade this armor core off. The reason why I say that for this build, for the Dark Zone, is because even currently, right now, I can do this. I can trade that damage, personal damage, to kill the player, which gives me this extra 10% skill damage onto them and lets me get that armor core out because I have the skill tier. I could trade this right now for this. Now, what does this do? Is this allows me to give the teammates, where is it? I get the extra 10% skill haste by staying in cover. And on top of that, group members would also get 10% bonus damage to status affected targets. So rather than me getting a personal 10 out with the launcher, I could give all my teammates an extra 10 by changing that Golem out. And as long as I stay in cover, I get more skill haste, so I can get my skills back and do more damage quicker. So it's a player's choice whether you want to use this or you want to use this. Either one of these currently right now are good. And even in the update, either one of these two will still be just as good. The only question is if those are going to stay on there. You know, and I'm talking about this. If this stuff like this in these areas are going to stay on. The skills we've gone over are going to be still there. Those are still going to be there no matter what we do. But you'll be able to move those around. So it's more a question of this stuff, like these little areas. So that's a very simplistic build. I don't really need to show it. Now, this is my personally designed build. This, I have gotten messages. I have gotten people griping, loving, complaining about this. I designed this build for one reason and one reason only, and it is super effective. This is a trap build, ladies and gentlemen. This build literally clears out door campers in a heartbeat. And it's just, it is stupidly strong. Now, this build, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on. I'm just going to show you about it. You're not worried about any one of these weapons. It does not matter what you have. You could literally put on the Liberty pistol. I use the card 45 like this because I can get in sync just to get some extra damage out if I wanted to. But you could literally put the Liberty pistol on this build. It would just do just as good. But the hazard protection is vital. Okay? On all of these pieces you can find. The reason why is because down here, as you can see, we are 80% to everything. 80% disrupt, 80% ensnare, burn, disorientate, bleed, just 80% hazard total. That 80% allows them to, even if they were to use a jammer pulse, they will not shut off your shield. They will not shut off your traps. If they're on the ground, okay, they'll destruct these. you might get jammered for literally 1 second, and then you'll get your shield back. And then you pop it out, and then throw more traps. Pop it out, throw more traps. Oh, I'm jammered. Oh, wait a second. Oh, get my shield back. More traps. More shield, more traps. More shield, more traps. On here, I have a piece of bellstone. Now, I've seen someone else who did the exact same build, and they put on a piece of Hannah U. Now, the Hannah U gives them the more skill haste. That literally makes this thing so much even better. They've gone with China on here, give them the extra explosive damage. By all means, do so. I personally go with the bellstone because the reason why is because just because this build is super strong, you still have no survivability. So I went with the one-piece bellstone to give me the armor regen. Believe me, I thought it all the way out. A piece of y'all gear to get that extra hazard protection. And then we literally have a maxed out skill tier 6 shield. So it has the max armor, so you can survive. And then the traps, as you can see, oh, it says 10 seconds. Let's reset this. Go out, come back in, my bad. Urgh. I'll be back. Did it reset? Yes, it reset. Cool. You're gonna make me do it, aren't you? You're gonna make me do it. That's why sometimes some of these things are hard to show. Okay, 32 seconds. They're sitting at 32 seconds. Still disabled. Thank you. Stay disabled. So, this build is designed for door campers. Now, if you want to use this build any other way, by all means, that's on you. I only use it for people who camp a door. It's to teach them a lesson. You know, back up off. If you're actually a good player, you wouldn't have to be camping a door. But the traps, and you can see 32.4 seconds. The cooldown effect right here decreases it by 30 seconds. So I have a 2.4 seconds where I may not have traps. That is why it's set up like this. If I put the Hannah U on there, it would be at 29 point something seconds. So I deconstruct, it'd be instantaneous every time. But you can see we're going to toss these out. Boom, it hits the player. There's still some on the ground. We deconstruct. Get them right back. Right back out. It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's traps on the ground. Killed them. Some of them are still on the ground. Deconstruct. And then get them right back. So, now, my focus build, it's the same as this one up here, but this one here I just have set because this one here is for 2 blues in case I want to run legendary to give me some survivability. So it's the exact same as up here. This one here is if I'm doing raids. I use this here for raids. My pistol build, everybody keeps asking me about this one. This one here, yes, my Liberty is at level 20. I love the Liberty. It's so strong. Now, if anybody remembers, prior to TU7, we used to have damage to targets out of cover. The Liberty itself changed from that to damage to targets out of cover. It was damage to elites got changed to damage to targets out of cover, is what I'm trying to say. So because of that, this right here, which used to give you the sight on here that I'm looking at, which says headshot damage, it used to tell you and show you a little red circle around where they had a weak spot. That is technically gone, but at the same time, for some reason, this has not been fully patched. That is another reason why when I hit a headshot with this build, I can literally 2-tap a player even if they have 2-point-something million armor. This Liberty sight has not been fully patched. That is another reason why I use it. Now, I've never given that part up. Didn't want to try to explain it, but I figured eventually someone might find it out, and someone messaged me and told me that, hey, did you know that this? Yes, I did. That's one reason why I haven't said anything. So the build itself is the Seska, a piece of Grupo, a piece of D&H, Petrol gloves, Overlord knee pads, and Ridge waist chest piece. Now, you do not have to use this build set up like this. You don't have to. You can put parts wherever you want to. You could still use Adrenaline Rush and Intimidate on this build, because the shield has so much survivability, you would still get all the damage from players who are nearby. It is honestly a player's choice, but the reason why I went with this version is because, again, this is Ridgeway's pistol. This is Ridgeway's chest piece. I figured, what the hell, let's put 2 pieces of Ridgeway on, walk around like we're General Ridgeway and see what we do, and it's just been slapping ever since. And because we also get the status effect damage, this damaged armor just increases even more. So it was just kind of a, hey, let's give this thing a try, and it worked beautifully. Now I have a TKB 408. You can use whatever you want to as an assault rifle. Custom M870. Now this is the best shotgun for PvP in the game. The reason why this one is better than the other versions of the M870 is it gives a tiny, and I'm talking a very tiny amount more in accuracy and a tiny amount more in stability. That can make or break you winning a PvP fight. So this shotgun, if you're going to use it, is the strongest, the best of the M870s. Okay, now I'm not saying it's better than all the other shotguns because you may have your own preference. But of the M870s, this one is the best one. So, pistol build, this thing actually survives rogue agents. I'm talking like in PvE. This build can survive rogue agents if played right and played smart. So, this one is a PvP, PvE build if you want to take it anywhere. So, let's show what we hit for. So I get the bleed. And you saw the 2.9 mil on the headshot. That's because that right there, or 2.8 right there, that equated to the dark zone is nearly 900k on your armor. I can take 900k of your armor gone with one shot. If I land that headshot, I can get that extra damage. So, sometimes I don't always aim for the hit. Sometimes I like to stack it up on other weak players that I see. I'd rather hit those guys right here, find the guy who's got the most armor, and then hit him with the one shot that I have. So you can see on the side of my pistol, it's stacking up the damage, it's stacking up the damage. Let's pray to God we can get it to show. Matter of fact, let's clear that target. 3.7. 3.7 is almost 1.2 mil to the headshot on a player in the dark zone. I can 2-tap a player by hitting them one shot like that for, say, 900k, and another one for 1.2. There is no build out there that can kill a player within 2 shots, and we're literally talking as fast as you can pull that trigger in the dark zone than this. And that's even with, ladies and gentlemen, 4 blues. I've tested this with a different version by using the Walker rather than the DNH, because I have a blue one, and put the Grupo here. We're literally talking very minuscule difference in numbers, because it's only 5% difference in damage, and it still would 2-tap a player in the dark zone. I'm just purposely waiting till I find the Grupo to show it, you know, for what I still can do. But I can still 2-tap a player with this right here alone, with this build in the dark zone. So the problem is, if you find a bunch of players running, now you've not just got to go through this, but you also got to go through their shield, and the shield is still at that 4 still 10 mil. So unless you're coming at me with like 2 blues, you're not going to crack that shield with 1 magazine. You're not. And you can see the active regen is nearly the same as the holster regen, so it comes back pretty quick. So that's my pistol shield build. Now, before we go, on that one, the specialist, it really doesn't matter at this point. You could even go and put on, currently right now, this for the extra skill tier, but I use the sharpshooter just because I gain not the headshot damage, I gain this: increased weapon stability, reduced recoil, and faster requisition of your targets. That's the only reason why I use this. Number 2 reason why I use it is because the med pack, you hit me with a status, I get that med pack off, I survive, and then I can avoid it for 20 seconds in the dark zone. So these 2 reasons. Now, if these 2 change later on, that may be different. But currently, right now, this is the 2 reasons I'm using this on here.
It's killing me.
My hunter build. This is the anti-pulse build. I call it the hunter because you're never going to see this one coming. You see, 100% pulse resistance. Now, I personally use this versus the technician because I give my teammates and myself this extra pulse. So that's on you of what you want to use. You can use the technician and get the laser pointer onto this, and that's fine. I do use one-piece Fenris. I use a Petrol gloves, Overlord knee pads to get the multiplicatives out. And then I've got the 3 y'all. Now again, you can craft these 3 y'all over there at the bench. As you can see, we have 1 mod. It's the pulse resistance for 10%. And then the 3-piece y'all is going to give us the extra damage. Now, I use spotter and companion, so I always have damage. If we have a healer on my teammate, cool. If I know we don't have a healer, I can trade this right here for unbreakable, and trade this here for vigilance or whatever I want. So find you pieces like that you can trade them off to. Crit chance, crit damage everywhere, and of course King Breaker. Mine is maxed out. Eagle Bearer is a backup, and this is where I love to use the Eagle Bearer, because now I can avoid your status, I can avoid your pulse, and so on. This is, if I'm really going to use my Eagle Bearer, this is where I use it, is on this build, because I'm avoiding those statuses, the burns, and you're not going to get any damage on me. Now, everybody can use crit chance. They can use crit chance, crit damage, Walker for these 3 spots, and do the exact same thing with the Eagle Bearer. But since everybody's running pulse, you're honestly better off putting your Eagle Bearer on something like this type of build and avoiding them from ever getting that extra damage on you and being able to do damage to them. Now, you can do it as you please, okay? That's as you want. That's what I prefer to do, because I want to counter somebody at the same time. I want to give myself gains and them nothing. So, there it is, pulse. Now, some people say that this little drone does not work for other teammates. That is a straight lie. as long as they get those squares on them, as you can see those squares out there, they have been pulsed. You will get the damage, your teammate will get the damage, anybody will get the damage. So anybody who says that that drone does not help your teammates is lying. Now, what does that drone allow me to do? It also allows me to take that pulse piece off and get crit chance out. So if they allow us to get this onto other pieces, which they said they will, we can get 2% more crit chance, or we can get 10% more crit damage by doing it this way. Now, the drone itself, because the drone can be moved around, what I would do is I would run whatever my teammates needed. I would run Grenadier. I would run Minigunner. I would run Crossbow. Well, technically the medic should be running that, so I'd be running one of these three right here. This one, or this one. Now, headshot damage, yeah, definitely, for whoever's going to sit in the back. But this right here for close-up and personal damage, damage targets out of cover, ammo for your team, whatever you want to run. So when this comes out, again, whatever specialist you want to run on this, run it, because you'll be able to put this drone here, and you'll be able to put on this extra crit chance right here. You can put on this right here for damage, whatever you prefer. So while we have this going, it's pulsed. Boom. See, I got companion and pulse. Now, I have pieces on here, as you can see, like this right here, the yaw gear. I can turn this into a 2 blue, 4 red, if I wanted to. I prefer on this one here to have a little bit more survivability. So, and I still run this because of the med pack, just because I can avoid the status when I get burnt by putting on the med pack. I can avoid their pulse and just have nothing but gains. If I hit them with the Eagle Bearer, the same thing. I hit them with this Eagle Bearer. They're pulsed right now. I avoid status this way. So this build just literally, I call it the Hunter for that reason. I can avoid all that status. I can avoid all that damage by using it this way. They get nothing against me. Bleed build. Now, I'm gonna make some of you mad on this one. I know I am. Because a lot of people want to show a Ridgeway build with Eagle Bearer, ARs, stuff like that. I'm sorry to say, your build like that is never going to compete to this one because of two things. One, look at the range on the weapon. 22 meters, right? Okay. How far does Ridgeway's reach out? 15 meters. You're using an AR that reaches out for 30 meters to do damage, and the bleed does not even take effect from your health damage, only the damage to armor that you would have on the bottom of your weapon. So, you're not even able to get the max potential out of your build. Number two, the player has to be within 15 meters for you to get the bleed. Right? Your best damage from your SMGs is 22 meters. So you've got to get close and personal, so use a close and personal weapon. Okay? What's the point in using a bleed build for someone who's so far away with an AR when you're not even going to get the damage? Now, another reason why this one here is the better version is because I can get the crit chance out this way, crit chance, and still hit them with the damage to armor, and at the same time, I'm critting every single bullet. And then I've got 2-piece Sokolov, 1-piece Grupo to get the most damage to that player possible, and at the exact same time, I've got the damage to armor with the Petrov gloves and this. So your AR build, bleed build, will never compete to this one. Now, Let's show. He's within, what, 15 meters? He's yay far away, right? 9 times out of 10, if you're that far away, look. I'm going to hit him. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's set both of these up for 15 meters. Where's my armor? Where's he bleeding? Okay, your AR can beam him from over there. Barely. Let's get him within 10 meters. Oh, we got bleed. Finally. Well, he's within 10 meters. Wait a minute. What's the range on this? 22. So I'm still going to get all that damage. But because I've got all the crit chance and I've got all the crit damage, which is going to damage his armor off, I'm going to kill him faster than I would with an AR. Because I also don't have to spec into crit chance, which a lot of people are putting, and I don't know why. You're putting armor regen where there's status effect. The status effect from this will do damage and give you regen. Now, how does it do it? That's easy. Let me demonstrate. If I had no armor regen and I went to my pistol build. Get down. I went to this one to get the crit chance, right? Okay, I got my AR. I bleed him. Look at how long the bleed lasts. Right? Now I put status effect. That's going to make it last longer. It's also going to give it more damage. So now I've gained damage and regen because it stays on him longer. See? That's way longer. So rather than going armor regen, which you would only gain honestly about, putting the armor regen into these parts because it's set to like 4925, you're literally only talking less than literally less than probably 0.7% armor regen on this build. And that's even if you made it a 5 blue. So because of that, get the damage out. Go with the status effect. Not only that, but if I were to bleed multiple targets, it stays on them even longer. So let's set this one up for veteran. Let's toss this out. I've got 2 players status affected right here. Or maybe not. For some reason my hive is acting wonky. Let's just do this. Since my hive was acting wonky, let's reset that. Let's re-show this. Two players bled right now. I've nearly got all my armor ripped back, and that's just 2 players. So, again, not only that, but the bleed lasts on them almost the same duration as the Wicked. So, going with the SMG version is going to be more, or will be better than the AR version. No matter what anybody says. But, to show you the build, it's simple. Crit damage, everywhere you can, status effect. You can even trade crit damage here and put status effects. You can even put the SMG, the firm handshakes on here, but you're going to lose out on the damage to armor. You can go that route if you wanted to. Overlord knee pads just for the multiplicative against players, and ridgeways. Now, even with this, because this here has damage to armor, you can even melt players down with Lady of Death. I forgot to show that. Matter of fact, let's reset. So, yeah. And now again, I'm using the crossbow currently right now to give my teammates, because I'm a bleeder on this build, to give them the extra damage. Because the skills really won't matter on this or what you're doing. If you're going to be close and personal, I would honestly go with this right here to help give them the extra damage, or this for if that stays the same. The explosive bullets don't, or the bleed part doesn't affect by this. You can get armor on kill by using this. That's also if that stays the same. But honestly, your best two options are this or this, one of the two. And that's currently right now. So countdown build. I've shown this one many times. This one here, I probably shouldn't have to show too much, but again, I'm showing this one here for a few reasons. The perfect opportunistic helps your teammates out. You can use the backpack to get personal armor if you want to. The chill out mask is good for this and this only. It is not good for anything else, honestly, unless you're going to use it for protection from elites. Even the crit hit damage version like this with pieces of crit hit damage does not even compare to the coyotes. You're only good for this right here for the protection from elites. The chest piece is a must because you want that extra 50%. Now, you can use focus on here to get 10% more damage, but unless you're going to land those headshots, unless you're really going to do it, your best bet is to do this. Don't go glass cannon. Go with this. This is way better. If you use the backpack, I would suggest putting on the Fox's knee pads so you can get the damage targets out of cover, and then run you the Gilligard mask. Put the crit chance, crit damage as you feel, but because some people run coyotes, I try to get it crit chance to as close to 30, and then crit damage to, as high as I can get it. As long as I can get close to 30, I'm good, because one person hitting far away with the coyotes gives you 25, so I'd literally be sitting right at 52%, which is good for me. And then if they get the other coyotes procs, I mean, we're talking an easy 60 and then all the crit damage. So getting as close to 30 is good. Shotgun, crit chance, the laser pointer. And again, if this changes, because the laser pointer part can go to any of them, like they said they're going to do, it literally just becomes putting this on. Put the firewall on. That way, you're close and personal, you're giving your teammates an extra 10% weapon damage. Because you're going to be up in people's face. It's literally going to be that. Just put the firewall on. And that's also if they keep that in there, on that. If they do, and they keep the extra 10% that you can give to your teammates for being close and personal, put the firewall on. It's that easy. I shouldn't have to show that build. Everybody knows Heartbreaker by now. One shots. Just gonna sit here and talk and show y'all me shooting people in the head for a second. I'm building up stacks. As you can see, the pistol part is building up stacks, and then I'll talk to you about the build after I do this. Alright, let's pray to God we get a good... Okay, we got a hard mark. 73 mil. 73 mil on this. Now, how do we do that? It's very simple. Anybody who likes to do speed runs or raids, you want the one shot. A lot of people go with crit chance or crit damage. Me, I want the weapon handling because I want to be able to hit that headshot. It's honestly player's choice at that point. If you want to do the crit damage or the crit chance, because they'll usually give you all the crits. And then you just put it into crit damage so you can get more damage out. That's on you. Me personally, I went with weapon handling because I want to be able to land that headshot. If you do happen to do the crit damage headshot one, that's fine. But you're going to use one piece of Providence, one piece of the Punch Drunk, one piece Walker. Now, you do not have to use Headhunter. You can use the glass cannon, use the sacrifice here, and then go get you a Walker backpack with the Vigilance on here. And it would do pretty much the same except for this headshot part because you're losing the Headhunter. When people proc it, you'll still be able to get a lot of damage, but you're never going to match the perfect Headhunter in damage. But once you get this thing going, it's a beast of a build. Contractor's gloves, Fox's knee pads, and then of course the Dodge City Gunslinger holster. Pretty much set up in that way. You're going to be able to just walk around and one-tap things all day long. If you happen to get the, what's it called, the gift backpack, cool, get you a gift backpack, because then you can set this up where you shorten this by 1 second. But I can't find one with weapon handling headshot. All of mine have crit chance, crit damage somewhere, and I was able to put headshot damage onto it. But you can roll with that way. The TU-15 or 16 meta that I talked about the other day, if you don't think that this build works right now, or you're just not willing to accept that this is going to be doing any good, I dare you to go make this build. And then put on the Gilligard mask so you can shorten down this. Put on the crossbow currently right now because you can toss these nades. And just go to town. You're going to see people falling underneath your feet. Now, I went with two-piece Walker here, Fenris, Grupo, Overlord knee pads. This way I can still get my damage to armor, I still get the weapon damage, and I still get the crit chance. I am currently sitting at 44% crit chance, 168 in crit damage. Now, when this changes, I'm just going to do this. This is all I'm going to do. Boom. Build set. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Because I just jumped up to 50%. And the cool part is, with this, I can actually go to 52. Because I can go to crit chance right here. Or I could even put on the crit damage and get more crit damage out. Because I'm sitting at 50. It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen. This build is going to be the meta for the Dark Zone. I am not going to kid you on this one, because all I have to do is now I can put on the Banshee Pulse players, hit them with a status, keep the status going for 20 seconds, and then I aim with a laser pointer if I wanted to, because I could even throw this on here and get the pulse out. Or even just in case, you know, they're like that, I could even put on this drone. I can put this drone on, I can put the Banshee Pulse on, and then just literally go to town. Like I would always have damage all the time, period. The only time I would lose out on damage is if they came up with the anti-pulse build, but even still I have the crit chance and the crit damage to back it up, that I'm only losing 15% versus losing the perfect one of 20% because I didn't hit them right, the closer chest piece. I'm only losing 15% versus losing 20%. So setting it up this way is a lot better. And I'm kidding you not right now. Like if I wanted to, since I have this set, let's show you what it looks like. And crit damage. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, let's demonstrate it right now. Alright. Alright. Player with 1.3 to 1.5 armor coming at me right now. Or up to 1.7. $955, ladies and gentlemen. Do you realize that that's 300, almost 300k in the dark zone on a headshot? Do you realize that that literally is just a few bullets and that player is dead? Alright, let's go to 1.8 to 2.2. And let's get a good grenade. Pulse just in case one more time. And you see it still bounces all over the place. That's another reason why you got to make sure you have your stability on. That's another thing I forgot to show. Let's demonstrate this for people who aren't using, because I'm just pulling the trigger. I wasn't even aiming. Alright, so that's where we're aimed at. See how it climbs? So that's another reason why I've been telling some people, aim at the neck. .828. That's still a lot for the dark zone. And again, I can even use the Eagle Bearer on this as well. So y'all want to see Eagle Bearer? This is going to be my Eagle Bearer build. Since I saw some of y'all's comments. This will be my Eagle Bearer damage build in the dark zone. And that's with 5 blues. And I think that's everything for this guy, so let's go to the other ones.
Entering safe area.
Alright. Got DPS, Heartbreaker. Yep, here's the other Heartbreaker version. Skills, Eclipse, we've gone. Okay, Negotiators. Oops. Do I have this on? I was screwing around with this. My global settings. Okay, it's on heroic. Okay. Alright. Negotiators. Very simple. You can choose whatever talent you want for your chess piece. This is whatever you personally prefer. I have a chess piece like this so I can switch out whatever talent I want onto this. You can go Obliterate, Glass Cannon, Focus, something that does damage, Overwatch, whatever you prefer. I suggest, now I'm not saying you have to, I suggest doing the Seska. The reason why is because even currently right now, if I sit this at my rifle right now as it stands, and I were to say take off this crit chance and I could put this crit damage on. So right now I'll put this crit damage currently. I went to this. I'm at 47% crit chance. Okay? 47%. Now that's with a Seska. Okay? Now, I'm at 190 and I can go up even more in crit hit damage. So the crit hit damage isn't the issue. It's trying to get the crit chance. So going with the Seska on the Negotiators is, to me, vital. Now, I'm using 2 different weapons, and because I like to make it to where both weapons do equal amounts, so if I have to swap between this one or this one, it doesn't matter which one I use, I went with the Coyote's Mask. Now, to me, you can use the Overlord knee pads if you wanted to get the damage out. I went with the Coyotes because I'm going to hit long range to get my crit chance out with the Coyotes. And I might have other players who are using the closer coyotes to give me the crit hit damage. So I get more. At the same time, if I hit that mid-range with the AR, I'm going to be able to get the extra damage to them and to the player as well, and I'll have crit chance, which will change this from 52 to add 10 and 10 to 60. So I'll always have the max crit chance by using it this way. Now, the focus for me, because I know focus is the strongest damaging talent in the game compared to glass cannon, which glass cannon you take too much in, you got to take cover, that's timed down, versus using the walls and the shields like we've seen before, just allows me to get more damage out. So if I do this, I have a shield, I'm using the wall, I'm using the edge, I hit the target, I crit. Okay, hit the target, crit. And I'm just easily taking them out. Now you see I've got the mid-range crit piece. So I've got the crit chance and I've got crit damage added to it. And as I'm hitting the targets, I'm getting the extra crit damage. So if I were to do the same with my AR, and you see we can kill targets really, really fast. Now, that's the reason why I'm using these two. The reason I'm using the backpack is because I'm giving 100%, not 60 to one ad and 60 to another. I'm doing 100% of equal damage to all targets that I shoot. So the damage would be the same, equal across the board. You can do the Vigilance Companion and not use the backpack and then put on Negotiator's mask if you want. That's fine. But I have this set up because I can take this to PvP and PvP or PvE and feel like it's the same build and I don't have to change things up from one to the other. So having it set up this way is by far, to me, the best way to get it. Now, again, I try to set my builds, so y'all understand, I try to set them for PvE and PvP. Not just one-sided, not anything like that. I'm trying to give you the best of both worlds at one time. Let's see here. Now, and while I'm still going on it, crit hit damage everywhere. Sorry. Whoops. Crit hit damage. Crit hit damage, crit hit damage. Okay. Aces. I don't think I need to explain aces, but just in case. Headshot damage. Everywhere. Very simple. Headshot damage. Now, where I have crit chance, you can literally go and do weapon handling. So, since I think... Yes, I have that. Let me go show you all the difference in weapon handling on this. Oh, whoa. Hold on. Before I do that. Now let's say there's a target right here, right in front of you. I aim. Center of my circle is right there on his head, right? Didn't hit him. Right? Didn't hit him. But look at where it's landing. Like, look, it's literally landed on his head, but it didn't count because it didn't hit the circle. So I aimed down a little bit. Boom, I hit the headshot. Now, I want y'all to watch this. This is why I told y'all in one of my videos to do weapon handling as well, if you wanted.
Good to see you. You need anything?
Recal. Backpack. Chest piece. Weapon handling. 2 pieces of weapon handling. Let's see if we can land those headshots a little bit easier. And here's the cool part. If we do, you know what that means? You don't even have to come out of cover with the sniper rifle. Because you still get all the headshot damage. Try to get the center right. Not on my monitor. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah, look at that. What? Oh, not even out of cover. Yeah. How'd y'all like that one? Again, so you don't have to do the crit chance. You can go weapon handling just like this. That keeps you in cover and allows you, if you have like mouse and keyboard or a little dot on your screen, you can hit that spot. Now, it's not always as easy. You can see right there, sometimes it will miss. It's more or less figuring out, you know, where you're landing your shots. Like that. Now you don't have to come out of cover, and you get all the bonus because you don't have to aim down the sight. It's automatic headshot damage. So how broken is that if you were to be in the PvP area, hit a player because, you know, you can aim right on him and just blast him. Now, another thing is, on here, we have accuracy. Okay? In here, I would suggest, if they had accuracy, to put accuracy on here. Because that accuracy alone would make it so much, like, that's what matters, is being able to shoot a player from cover without having to come out of cover. It's not the stability, it's the accuracy. The higher your accuracy, the better you can hit those shots. So there are some other weapons that have way higher accuracy. Let me see, for the sniper rifles. See, like this one here, it's got really high stability, which would allow you to put in for all the accuracy. You could get the same, but you would not get the same headshot damage as the White Death. Like this one here, not as strong a weapon, but it's got higher accuracy. This one here, no. I think that was really about it. I think it's this one, the custom M44 replica. Because it's got all the stability, it would allow you to put on that accuracy. As a matter of fact, let's craft one and see what all the mods were, as I forgot. So in here we can put rounds, stability, so we can max out stability, so we'll go for rounds. Yep, there's the accuracy. And then, yep, there's the other accuracy. So this would land those shots even easier. But the problem is you lose out on that extra headshot damage compared to the White Death. So if we took this down here, and we did this. Now, granted, it's not maxed out. I'm not maxing this out. And as a matter of fact, let's also put on this. That was off the center. There we go. Landed the shot. Again, it's not much more, but it is more. How did that one not count? I swear to God, sometimes this game just hates me. There you go. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. So you would get more for the weapon compared to accuracy. So if we did a side-by-side comparison, you see we get the White Death versus this. See how it has less accuracy, less stability, but you get the more headshot damage. So it's still the best is to do the White Death. Now another one a lot of people want to ask is the Directive. It has extremely high accuracy, good stability. I don't know, y'all tell me. And then, you know, say I miss or I'm firing, reload, I got armor, and then hit the target. Not bad, huh? So again, headshot damage everywhere. Weapon handling if you want to, or crit chance. Weapon handling or crit chance, player's choice. Ongoing directive. Now, I have mine, again, set up for PvE and PvP. 3 blues. Now, the reason I'm using the 3 blues is just for survivability. This build really has no survivability because there's no armor regen, nothing else, so you're at the mercy of your teammates of helping you out. I tested this with the damage to targets that I cover to help my teammates out and see if the Grenadier would help out for that. It really didn't. So because we want the status effects, we want the survivability or survivalist. You may change this later on, okay? Because again, we may not get this this part right here. Group members get 10% damage to targets with status effects. We may end up losing that. If we lose that, there's nothing else really to this build to change, because other than that, you just get skill haste. Honestly, it's going to be player's choice of what do you want. Do you want armor on kill because you killed the enemy? And not only that, you could even get the magazine. So let me see if that even works on this one. Yeah, so you'll be able to put this anywhere. So this 50 round mag, you can go to 250 if you wanted to, versus the stability. You can have 250 rounds of bleed bullets. Like just spray and spray and spray. Armor on kill, giving your teammates extra armor. You could even do this right now. It's player's choice. I just go with the survivalist because, again, I can give them extra damage. And then, since they're also going to allow us to chain this off, you'll be able to put this on later on. So for right now, just go with the crit chance. You'll also be able to put this in later on. So it's, do you want the stability or do you want that? Muzzle. I don't think there's anything under the muzzle. And this here, they have not said that they're going to change this, but as you can see, it does say 8 times. This should work with focus, but it's not. The reason why they say it's not working with focus is because, yes, you have to zoom in. So let me demonstrate what I mean. This is the issue with it not working with focus, is this right here. See, I aim, but it's not automatically aimed, versus the sniper rifles, I was doing this automatically. Because I have to force it to do that, to zoom in, it literally is the reason why it's not working with it. Alright, we got bleed bullets. So, now that I got bleed bullets, let's talk about the build. I have crit damage here. I have status effects rather than crit chance, just so I can get a little bit extra status so it stays on them a little bit longer. You don't technically need the crit chance because your weapon is sitting at 47 currently, and that's before anything. So someone that has Coyote's procs, they're going to give you the crit chance. They're going to give you the crit damage. So go with the status effect. Help yourself out. Here, crit damage, I have one piece for crit chance to give me that extra bit. You can even throw that in here, just like I have with the crit chance versus crit damage. Crit damage, crit damage. And something that causes a status effect, you can go with Jammer Pulse. You can go with this right here, anything that is status effect. And this build even works with the blue screen. So for instance, I hit them. Alright, so now let's demonstrate. Alright, we're back on the blue screen. Oh, we hit them. They're still pulsed or status affected. Those ads are status affected. Okay, we've got our skills back. Whatever we hit it, boom, they're status affected. The status effect works. We still get bleed bullets just because they're status affected. Oh, we need to put it on a hive. Okay, they're status affected. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's get rid of the bleed bullets on here and show you what happens. Alright. Enemies out there. We need status effect bullets. We're maxed out. Let's drop this down. Oh, they're status affected. Oh, we kill them. We get bleed bullets. I didn't even need to bleed them. GR9. And again, we can gain, versus the stability, we can even gain 50 more bleed bullets doing it this way later. So that's player's choice. As for specialists, like I said, you can go minigunner, armor on kill, crossbow, whatever you prefer later. Strikers. Now this one's going to be hard for me to demonstrate, so let me do this. I need to make this to where I can get these tags easily. I'm just going to go over here, grab some tags, ladies and gentlemen, so give me a few minutes.
We need to find out what happened to the team that went to try to repair the main shade node. The federal shelter should be beneath your current position. Find a way down there, but proceed with caution.
Golden bullet received. Hostile assembling golden bullet. Hostile has full golden bullet.
need to find out what happened to the team that went to try to repair the main shade node. The federal shelter should be beneath your current position. Find a way down there, but proceed with caution.
That should be enough, even if I still need one or two.
Great to see you.
And so I don't lose anything.
Badass.
Oh, it did reset. Okay, so they patched that. That's cool. That's good to know. They patched that. So if you switch between one to the other, you used to be able to keep your stacks. Now they fixed it so you can't keep your stacks. Okay, let's go then. Build's pretty simple. Crit damage everywhere. Memento backpack. Chest piece here. Overlord knee pads to get the extra damage out. We have the apartment and the ACS-12.
Black Tusk have infiltrated the bunker and have sent a digital forensic team to dig through the old Shade network hub. We have to shut them down.
What am I looking for? One of those goddamn... Solid hit! Eddie, get in my crosshairs!
Boomstick. And let's reset this. Oop, I didn't want to do that. That was my bad. Hit X instead of... because I want a Chonga. Can't test your build if you ain't testing against a Chonga.
Black Tusk have infiltrated the bunker and have sent a digital forensic team to dig through the old Shade network hub. We have to shut them down.
Gotta check in the... Coming in! Fire! Got him! Hit him! Friendly is down! Air burst!
Alright, well, either way, I guess no Chonga. Pretty easy, right? We use the shotgun to simply give us the extra damage that we need right off the rip. We get our memento stacks to give us an extra 30%. And then you can literally go and use the apartment afterwards to get more damage and stuff. Now, you do not have to use this. You can literally use a laser pointer. And by putting this on, later on, we can put on this, because that's going to be able to go to anything. So then you're going to have even more damage that you want to. Now, this is on my one build, so, or my, it's part of this, so I can't really trade the talent off, or I would. But I got to go find another one just for this build until they patch it, so I'm just trying to keep them all set. But again, we have crit chance, crit chance here. And as you can see, the survivability on this build is just, it's so strong. You can increase crit chance if you want to, but if you're playing with other teammates, again, with coyotes, you don't need to take it up past the 40 mark with the SMGs. If you want to take it up past there, that's fine. Yeah, take it up to however high you want. And again, because we'll be able to put on the laser pointer and things like that, you can even come over here and put on the 7% crit chance later on when the update comes out. Because that'll be able to go to any of your specialists. So that's an extra 2%. So then you'll be right at 50. Or just shy of 50, I should say. And I'm literally 4 blues, 3 reds, 1 yellow, and I put on the minigunner for the armor on kill because while I'm still stacking this up, you need that armor on kill. But as you saw, everywhere is crit chance. And if you wanted to on this build, rather than use that, you could even use a chameleon. Because you have this high crit chance on here, and you can get even more weapon damage. So let me take this off. Let me show you the chameleon, and then we'll come right back and show you one more. And let's see if we can get a chonga. Please, I want a chonga. If I'm going to demonstrate a build like this, I need a chonga.
Black Tusk have infiltrated the bunker and have sent a digital forensic team to dig through the old...
Hostile assembling golden bullet. Golden bullet complete. Agent
There we go, got the weapon damage.
bullet.
On your knife! I got it!
No chonga. You gotta be kidding me. But yeah. Again, you can even use chameleon. And the chameleon is sitting at 34% crit chance. And you can gain more on this because it allows you to shoot the headshot and get 20%. So you can literally be at 55. Instantly stacking up, getting more damage out, and then even boosting your weapons damage. And right now with Golden Bullet, the way this is, it's beautiful. So, since we got that one out of the way... System. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to show system because some people still can't get this stuff and it's just going to frustrate the crap out of them. I've already got that on another video, and this one here, one of the devs, I believe it was Yannick, said he was even going to be going in and looking at system and messing with it and probably re-changing some of this stuff up for what the pieces give. So, because I did read that, I did see this, I'm not going to mess with system because this one here, this build can completely go a different way. So we're going to hold off on system, ladies and gentlemen. And what he meant about changing it up, he was talking about this. The disrupt resistance and the armor on kill. He still wants to keep the pulse resistance on here, but the hack step protocol, which would give you 20% extra damage, was never giving you the most unless you ran this backpack, Bloodsucker, or, you know, even the Heartbreaker backpack kind of thing, even though you couldn't do it with this build. Still, none of those were giving you, or even the System Corruption backpack, none of those were giving you the most armor for the most damage. And because of that, he didn't like that part about it, so he's going to possibly go in and recreate this to where if you have bonus blue armor, is what he thought of and what he suggested, was it just gives you 20% weapon damage. So that way you could run things like the Matador backpack. You could run Bloodsucker. You run whatever you want as long as it gave you blue armor. It would give you weapon damage and a set amount. It wouldn't be like, hey, I have to have 100% bonus armor to get 20% weapon damage. So they were going through that, and this entire thing will be reconstructed. We don't know what system corruption may look like. And that's per the actual dev's words. So, if anybody's showing you system corruption builds right now, just understand they're good now. When they revamp the system corruption, not the revamp that's coming, when they revamp the actual system corruption, which they said they were going to do, which if they do it, those builds can completely go bye-bye. They could become super strong. We don't know. So I'm not even going to touch this one. Tip of the spear. Tip of the spear is a really good one for your specialist weapon. I have a tip of the spear build that I'm still currently working on. I have tested it out on a few countdown things, and because of that, I wanted to talk to y'all about this one and the other one. I'm not going to show you the other one because it still needs some tweaking, but this one here I've seen, and someone even showed it in a video where they called out Tuxedo Bandito for this one because he was paying people to get this build, and this build is so easy to make. Like, why would you pay people to get a build like this? Like, that makes no sense to me. If anybody pays or gets a membership onto my deal, that membership money I get, I'm going to send to like a charity or something like that. So none of that's going to come to me. This right here build should be free to the people because it's an easy build to make. There's tons of other people who show this. Now, your specialist, it's all about the specialist weapon. It doesn't matter what it is. You can use a rifle, or the sniper rifle. You can use a crossbow. You can use whatever you want to get this extra damage out. But how you build the tip of the spear is based upon what weapon you're going to use. So, for instance, the minigun, the grenadier, none of these matter about anything except for the sniper rifle and the jet stream. These two are the only two that matter about what you have as an attribute on your build. Sniper rifle, of course, hit those headshots. It's about hitting that, as well as weak shots. So having the crit chance into here versus the weapon hit will matter. So you want the crit chance and you want the headshot damage. Now you can use the Walker versus the Douglas and Harding and use a Providence just like this one here with the headshot damage. And this is another reason why I said I couldn't use this backpack, is because it's over here on this character. So I have to find another one. But the headshot damage matters for this specialist. So because of that, we're using this with the Regulus pistol to get the extra headshot damage, get the kills, and so on, get the vigilance out. And even with this, I could drop this off and put the memento to give my shield some more survivability. Still get near the same amount of damage out as this right here. Not as much, but near the same. I would have the survivability and just peg headshots and be done. But if you want to run the jet stream, this one here can actually be increased in more damage by trading the headshot to status effect, because the first initial burst is all weapon damage. The burst of it is going to kill them down by weapon damage. But if they're still alive and they're on fire, putting the status effect on it increases its damage. So rather than headshot, go with status effect. So with that, we would run a Golan back here with Wicked. So when we set them on fire, we would have the Golan with status effects and Wicked and crit chance. And then we would run something on the chest piece, because the damage from this also is, I don't know why, but it's also skill damage at the same time as well as weapon damage. So you could run two things. You could run here for your chest piece. You could run a Wyvern to get the extra skill damage, or you can run a Walker right here and then do like a glass cannon, status effect and crit chance, Wyvern status effect, skill damage, crit chance, whatever you prefer, and then doing the glass cannon to hit the player even harder. And they did talk about potentially putting these back into the dark zone. So what I'm going to explain to y'all, because I don't want to show you a build that's not going to work, and I've done it in Countdown. It works in Countdown. So this is based on if the devs And what I'm about to talk to y'all about is based on if the devs do bring back specialist weapons into the Dark Zone, which they said they plan on doing, but the damage, which you see down here where it says reduce damage against named enemies, that will also be against players. So people prior used to be able to come out with grenade launchers, hit you one time and kill you. And it pissed so many people off that they just took them out of the Dark Zone. Well, supposedly they're bringing them back. So if they do bring them back, this right here will still be just as strong, but you're probably going to take like 2 or 3 shots to hit it and kill a player. Maybe 4. The more armor they have, the harder it's going to be to kill them. So to do so, all they would have to do is put on a backpack of the tip of the spear to get 2 rounds ever so often. So I made a suggestion, which I have not got a reply back from the devs, and that is make it to where the boxes, these, like when you're, like, best example is if anybody's ever gone into this Dark Zone, you know how they get supply drops, and there's always a supply drop that drops right here. That supply drop would be the only place to get said specialist weapons. Now, if I run tip of the spear into the Dark Zone and say there's a spot that drops right out here and it drops a specialist weapon because it gets it out of the box, that's fine, but tip of the spear should not gain you any kind of extra specialist ammo in the Dark Zone. This should not give you any kind of specialist ammo. That way it forces the player to come out of said door, to go over there, go farm it, to get those boxes, to get those specialist weapons, and to get it. Now, if they have the backpack on, when they open that box, it gives them 2. Otherwise, they don't get anything. That is what I suggested to the devs. And if they listen to me, it'll make this better for the Dark Zone when they do implement these coming back. But if they don't, it's going to be, you're going to see a ton of people walking around with tip of the spear builds. Now, my anti-tip of the spear build for the Dark Zone is this. Where you see I have headshot damage, it'll be explosive resistance. That's it. On here, I will have a piece of walker. I will have a second piece of walker for the extra damage to armor. You may even see the Petrov gloves and one-piece walker. That way you can do damage to the player. Tip of the spear knee pads. But I'm doing explosive resistance because everybody and their dog is going to come out here running this. As well as, I might, because you can't avoid this except for the burn, I may even put on a Hasbro one. I haven't tested this out because nobody's really hit me with the jet stream as much when I do hit conflict. So I've only seen them use this right here and the rocket launcher, crossbow, things of that nature when they do hit me with it. So I haven't been able to test the jet stream to see if it prevents any status burn or if it dulls this down. But the grenade launcher is still super OP. You know, it takes a good chunk of armor off you, so going explosive resistance has worked. So, true patriot. I don't need to be over here. Let's go back. While I'm doing that, let me look and see what we got here. Jim Brown, they are doing the specialist rework. They already said they are doing it. It is currently being worked on, so yes, it will be worked on. It will be coming. Everybody who says it won't, I'm sorry, it is coming. So this is your chance to watch this video. Be prepared. Okay, we're still on heroic. True Patriot. This is another booster build. I do have another one in the works where it's nothing but repair skills. A piece of Alps like this right here. I'm using the Zetica backpack with repair skills and basically healing my teammates and giving them damage at the same time and using that in the Dark Zone. And we tested it out a few times. It doesn't hold up to the future one, but it is a lot of fun. Basically giving my teammates extra damage than what the future one would give, because you know you lose a little bit of armor and future kind of goes bye-bye. So doing it this way was actually pretty cool. But other than that, this one here, the more blue cores you have, the more the explosive. But at the same time, the more blue cores you have, the less your weapon hits. So finding that perfect synergy was key to this build. So 3x3. You want nothing more than a 3x3. Having one piece of Badger Tough on because you're going to be using the shotgun is important. You can use the Fenris, what's it called? The Ferocious Calm, like this, but you're only gaining 2 seconds faster activation. You're not getting any more damage. And because your main weapon is going to be the shotgun, you might as well go with the Badger Tough to lose a 2 second duration. Now, I'm currently using the setup like this to give my teammates 15%. I'm giving them 12% here, so we're talking 27%. I'm then giving them 8% more for the red, and I'm giving them 20% right here from this when I stack it up. And because this is currently good, if again they keep this, we're not changing a thing to this build. The crossbow will give them the extra 10. So in so doing, we're talking 30, we got 10, 20, 30, 45, 45 plus, that's 57, 57 plus 8, should be 65. 65% weapon damage, ladies and gentlemen. So what is 65%? Well, let's take a look. That was a little too quick. Still got them in 6, okay. I want the full stack of the shotgun. So there's 10. Oh wait, that was a 9. Oops. So 9 to 10 shots, just depends. And because you have an even amount of blues and reds, that explosive is going to hit just as hard against the other ads nearby, and at the same time it's going to allow them a chance to give you, or the build's going to allow you a chance to get more damage out just by having the reds. So you see we got this sucker right nearby, it's full health. We went from 309, what do we max out at? That's what I really want to find. 516 on armor. So he went from 309 to 516. That's the damage you're giving your teammates in comparison. Now, I've seen tons of people, and don't get me wrong, I've seen tons of people using Eagle Bears. I've seen people using Pestilence on here. It's not a bad setup. It's really not. All you have to do to trade out for that is to put on, say, something for your backpack, like a Companion, Vigilance, if you wished. You know, heck, you can even put on Wicked and like do a Jammer Pulse, get the Wicked going, and then get damage out. That's cool. By all means, go do that. If you do so, you lose out on 20 here, and you lose out on 15. So you're losing 35% weapon damage. But that's on you. That's how you want to run True Patriot. I'm not telling you you have to run it my way. I'm just telling you that if you want the most out of your build that's going to synergize with your team and help your teammates and yourself out, set it up this way. This is the best way I can explain it to show you an example of what I'm doing for these builds is True Patriot. A lot of people will miss out on this damage just because of that. They're going to miss out on this chest piece because they want to run tardigrade, they want to run ridgeways, they want to run glass cannon. They're doing something personal versus you're giving your team this extra 12%. You know, you're being a patriot. You're helping you and your team. You know, that to me, that's what this build was for. It's to help you and your teammates. It even talks about your teammates in here. So do something that's beneficial for your team. The Bulwark. A lot of you have fallen in love with this Bulwark build, and some of y'all didn't even know about it. Some of y'all have never played a real raid or done anything. Now, this build will change in one aspect. As you can see down here, I have a core red. I did so because I wanted to get the extra weapon damage out because I've got the skill tier here. Now, because the hive, the artificer hive will go to whatever we want. We'll be able to move this around. This is what we're going to do. Firewall. The firewall is going to give, where's it at? Allies deal 10% damage to enemies that are within 10 meters of you. Because of you having all this survivability, you're going to throw this in here. At the same time, you're going to gain this shield health, and you're going to gain the regeneration skill piece onto this. You're going to gain so much from this right here alone, and that's if these stay. These will be here. These will be here. These are not changing. These will be able to go to whatever build you want. But if this down here is locked to this firewall specialist, and it is still here on the firewall specialist, we will change this to here. We will put the artificer hive on, just as you see it right here, and it'll look the same, and we'll trade this red core to a blue core. Now, you may have the red core up here. You may have the red core here. You may have the red core here. That's fine. Wherever you have it, that's you. You do you. I have mine here. Trade that to a blue. Put the firewall on. Put the artificer hive on. And then go to town. Because all your teammates are going to gain even more damage by you being up close and personal. And that's it. But as for the build, armor regen, we have 2 spots right here. Everything else, nothing but hazard protection. We have disrupt resistance. And you see, we come down to here to disrupt. We are 100%. Which means, if I go down to here, to this little spot, I will not take any disrupt. My shield will stay active the whole time.
Hostile control point identified.
Making my way downtown.
Crush him!
Go ahead, shoot me.
There and take.
Golden bullet being assembled by hostile.
You know what? You're pissing me off.
Hostile completed the golden bullet.
How do you like this?
Received the golden bullet.
Making my way downtown. Walking fast. Or I should say, making my way to the block with the Glock. Yo ass finna get shot.
There.
Okay, there it is. EMP. Whee! Hey, what you doing? Oh yeah, that's disrupt. Lord, Hunter's Fury. Now, I've seen a lot of Hunter's Fury's builds out here. I've seen some people literally, I do not know why you're doing this. It makes no sense to me. You're putting crit damage where I have mine. You're putting armor regen. You're putting status effects. You're using the Hunter's Fury chest piece. You're using Hunter's Fury backpack. You're wasting it. Now, I have a Seska on here, which I don't technically need. If I wanted to, this is all I have to do. I can take this. I can put crit damage right here. And I'll be at 57%. That's how much over I am right now. So when this update comes out, I can take this and put this on here and be at 59% crit damage. Have it set with the, what was it, 141? 146 crit damage right now. Walk out here with this build still to this day and slap down any content. Does not matter. Now, you can use Lady of Death. You can use Chatterbox. Chatterbox is beautiful on here. I love SIG MPX because it is literally just about the same damage as a Lady of Death, just short a little bit. Think of it like the Backfire without all that extra crit damage. They look the same, they have the same amount of damage, but even though the Lady of Death is less and then you gain more, you don't have as many bullets and you're having to reload, you're having to keep moving, versus a SIG MPX, you can keep firing, and for the 50 mag, it's nearly the same as the Lady of Death. Yeah, it's a few more bullets. Yeah, you're having to throw them out a little bit more. But putting on close and personal, oh my god, it makes the SIG MPX on this thing just, it's so strong. So strong. So, before we go into all this, it's very simple. Crit damage everywhere. I have the Seska on here. Now, you don't have to. You can go put on Grupo. You can go put on Sokolov, as you wish. The main reason I have my Seska on here, and I will explain it to you, is because for the shotgun. That's it. It's not for the SMG, it's for the shotgun. Now, this shotgun, if I go to it, we're at 36% crit chance. So we need as much crit chance as we can to get to the 40 mark, maybe the 35, and then it's in a good spot. Now, I love this shotgun compared to the other one, the M870. Now, the M870 hits just about the same as the Lullaby. So this is the damage difference. We're talking 1.3 versus 1.2. But because I have these 12 rounds, my pummel will always stay active. Always. So I'm going to go down here in that same spot. I'm going to show you how it works. So here we go. I'm going to show you the SIG MPX first, and I'm going to get my backpack maxed out before I show you the pommel and both of these combined. So let me go down here, get some tags, and then we'll show you how they both work with a maxed out memento.
Black Tusk have infiltrated the bunker and have sent a digital forensic team to dig through the old Shade network hub. We have to shut them down.
First, run for fire up the enemy. Take your time.
Golden bullet being assembled by hostile.
And yes, I know I got golden bullets, so it gives me extra damage, but it would still be the same. Dang it. Oh, this is shotguns? Why didn't I look at that before? Ooh, I could farm my shotgun here today. Dang it, I did it again.
Black Tusk have infiltrated the bunker and have sent a digital forensic team to dig through the old Shade network hub. We have to shut them down.
Take a look over there. Got it. Oh, no. They go to form a shield.
Alright, it's nearly maxed out, so let's go show the shotgun now. Now it's nearly maxed out.
Black Tusk have infiltrated the bunker and have sent a digital forensic team to dig through the old Shade network hub. We have to shut them down.
Gotta get over there. Shit! They got shields! One more! There goes! I gotta close it down over here! Get! I got one! Take him out. Hostile civilian target.
Yep. Really easy. Now again, that's this shotgun. As you can see, even with the extra damage in here, even the yellows were still not taking a one shot. It was like almost a full one shot. And that's with the golden bullet. So still, we're talking that this build is still just that strong. Like, you can literally tap their armor off, hit them a second time, and they're gone. Let's see, what else do we got? That's the hunters. Rigger. Basically, this is a cheap man's mortar build. I shouldn't have to go over rigger too much. Cheap man's mortar build. We'll just look at it real quick. It's skill damage everywhere you can. The backpack is so that way you can toss out your skills, deconstruct them like so. So you toss them. This is all the backpack's good for. Toss it, deconstruct. Instantly get it back. Toss it. Get a kill or two. Deconstruct. Instantly get it right back. I prefer to use... You do not have to use the glass cannon like this. The glass cannon effect, which is the 25% for your skills, can come from rigger. But I use it because, again, I want to use that for my weapon. So I prefer to have that extra 25 for my weapon and for my skills. Waveform, of course, I just have this on here because I want to get the most potential out of both of these. They're both skilled damages, so I won't lose that. And that's pretty much rigor. Cheap man's mortar build. Hardwire. This is a drone build, or same thing. You can use it for seeker balls. This is pretty simple. Toss them out. They go out, they get their kill. They're done. Drop your turret, or I should say, drop your turret, get the cooldown, let it do its killing, toss them out, let them go do their kill, so on and so forth. Hardwire, just like the trap build that you saw before. Same thing. I can cool them down, get them right back. Sometimes this one here doesn't work, but because the main thing is for a dark hours raid, you're going to use this for mainly just this, to shut down those. Now here's the cool part. I shut down the drones. Overcharge. And so on. And that overcharge comes back even faster than other ones. Now, the only difference between this one is you would put on the BTSU gloves here, and rather than using this, you would use the hardwire backpack. That's a really strong drone build. Again, with the drone build for dark hours, you would also be using the restore hive. That'll heal up your teammates, and you have the jammer pulse to shut stuff down. You'd use BTSU gloves, hardwire backpack, get the damage out this way. So that way, in short, you would jammer pulse, you drop your hive, you get it right back, you'd have to be ready to jammer pulse again. And because it's got a really short cooldown of 15 seconds, you only have 10 seconds between here and then when we come back, so you'd have like a 4-second cooldown. And then just before the drones come back out, you see we're almost there. If we didn't have it, we could do it again, just in case. Drop it. Get it back. So, yep, that's the hardwire. Now for the final bit. The final builds in this game. I told you guys it's going to be a long freaking video. There's a lot of builds in this game.
Safe area detected.
Alright. Got my focus one, skill build, sniper turret. Here we go. Now, you can go 2 different ways with this build. But if you want the most damage from it, I'm going to show it to you. Let's set this for heroic. This is just a character I take through New York. He's also just my extra mule for my watch points, as I'll show you. So he doesn't have everything maxed out. I've got all this other stuff on this watch maxed out, but he's my mule. So this build, in short, in general, it doesn't have all the damages, so you're not going to see maxed out damages. I've got the Artificer Hive on here, but you can trade this to look like this. Okay, same thing. Same scenario, you're just going to get 20% more damage, but because it's going to rotate over and you don't want that, what you need to set it up for is something like this. Now, that's going to ensure that your sniper turret always hits for the right amount of damage. It doesn't lose 10% when it transfers anything over. So this build, you have to set it up like this. Now, it does not have to be in these specific spots. Okay, As long as it looks the same, it does the same, it will do the same. The health damage is vital on the White Death with Spike. 2 reasons. Sniper guys like this right here, they're using this and they are aimed at, say, the LMG dudes, the NPCs, the LMG dudes. They have a helmet. The rushers, the little crack addict rushers, they have armor on their helmet and their weak spots. When they're trying to shoot that health damage is that weak spot, as well as their armor on their helmets. Another spot is, say, those other guys that run up with the battle axes, the cleaners that have the shields. Their shields are health damage. The cleaner chongas, the big chongas, all of them, they have health damage weak spots. So you want the health damage and you want the spike because you're going to be aiming at that head piece. So you want to rip that helmet off. So you need that on here. Same with the artist tool. I keep this one as damage to targets out of cover just because it's good for me as a backup if I want personal weapon damage. But the White Death is the main one because you want that huge amount of headshot damage. That counts towards your sniper turret. So we want 1 piece of Providence on here. Now, because Providence is going to run with a red core, all you have to do is find headshot damage, skill damage. Now, if you can potentially find the one like this, get the yellow core off, and then maybe even throw this on right here, which gives you extra headshot damage to your sniper rifle, but it doesn't apply to your skill. But it is 15% versus 10% here. And because that 15% goes to your sniper rifle, it will also increase your turret. So to do so, you'd have to find a yellow core on this one right here, your Providence. And that becomes a little tricky because then you're finding 2-piece attributes with the yellow core on there that you can roll to it. That's going to be tricky. But we have 1-piece Wyvern. And we are using kinetic momentum. The reason why is because you have to be out of cover to land those headshots for the turret to be super active. So before we get into this anymore, let me demonstrate. For those who don't know, set it for 10, set this one for 25. Now, as you can see, I'm aimed right there with my turret. I aim at the head. It doesn't go for the head. But when I aim down sight, watch for this. It tracks where you're aiming. Boom. Headshot. Headshot. So, because we have to be out of cover, we cannot use glass cannon. So all y'all are sitting there saying, oh, you love glass cannon, you love glass cannon. I use what's best for the build. Kinetic momentum is best for this build. That way I can be out of cover, aim, and hit the target. For instance, target's way down there. Boom. Hit the target. Target's right here. Now here's the cool part. I hit spike. Boom. Hit spike. That's what the turret just hit him for. Now, another reason why we're not using the Petrov gloves or the Overlord knee pads is because those do not apply for this turret. So we have to use 3-piece Empress. 3-piece Empress gives us the most skill damage. Now, I would love to find another way to get more damage out of this, but I couldn't. So we went with the Hannah U backpack for the skill haste, so we can get the skills back. And at the same time, I don't even think that thing got the hive. Let's see if it gets the hive now. Yeah, there it is. 12.9. So he can hit a 12.9 headshot. And that's on a sniper turret, ladies and gentlemen. So we got Spike on here. Matter of fact, I don't even know why I have the artist tool. Why was it the artist tool? It was supposed to be Surge. My bad. Surge. I do not know why I had that one on there. It was supposed to be Surge. So, my bad for everybody if I misled you on that one. It's supposed to be Surge. And as you can see right here, we'll even do the same thing. We're going to put this down and show you this one. Oop. Before I do that. Get a kill real quick. There it is. Hit this headshot. It's still not doing it right. There we go. .6. It is not working. Oh my god, come on. You two, really? You're making this look bad. Alright, let's do this. There we go. I don't even think that's what it hit for. I think it hit for higher. 13.2. Now that is this spike, which is 20 versus the 25. Now, as you noticed, the headshot damage on this right here was 137 to hit there. Versus this one here, we only have 10. Now, I don't know why, but for some reason, sometimes this White Death has procced, and sometimes it hasn't procced. I have no clue why it's not doing it at times. There are times where I can go out there with a team and this thing will one-tap a yellow. There's other times when I'm out there, it doesn't one-tap a yellow. So I don't know why this White Death's, or even the sniper rifle's headshot damage, which is right here, does and doesn't always proc with it, because you just saw the surge. Now this may be a glitch in the system, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Maybe I was just getting extra damage from other teammates. But either one of these is really good, because with the White Death, you can get that extra damage for yourself, since you have all this headshot anyways, as a good weapon for you to snipe an enemy. The Surge is also a good one, because that's going to help your skill out to get more damage. So having both of these on here still, no matter what you do, like this, is going to help you out, period. But for some reason, I don't know why, the headshot damage on here does and doesn't proc always. Let's see, we got sniper turret, Eclipse. Okay, Oxy. Now, I'm still going to catch hell on this one, and that's fine. 3-piece Empress is not the strongest of Oxy, but I will use it, and it is still a good one to use. The absolute strongest, which was a big controversy in my one video, was that this right here, which they're not wrong, it does give skill duration, which helps keep it on the ground, but it's only 1 second longer. Versus going and getting the Providence chest piece, the Perfect Glass Cannon, and doing 2-piece Hannah U up here will give you a little bit more damage. Now, you won't be able to survive, but you will get more damage. So it is legitimately the strongest damage out there. And because you're using Hannah U and you're hitting them with that, you can even go with combined arms, like right here. if you wanted to. But your best thing to use is tech support. So doing a 2-piece Hannah U with tech support, the Providence Sacrifice chest piece with glass cannon, Petrov gloves, Overlord knee pads, and this will give you the best damage. Now, if you want consistent, and I do mean like consistent, strong damage, where you can also get this, your best setup would be Providence chest piece here, Empress and Empress like I have, and trading out this for the Empress down here. Now, why do I say that? Is because the Empress down here, you're going to lose 20% weapon damage or skill damage on this, but it'll be a consistent, non-stop, all the time damage, and so on, so forth, and so on, so forth. Now, as for the specialist that you have, can't go wrong with this, period. Nothing else out here. None of these give extra damage to armor. They give you damage to targets out of cover. None of that. None of it works. So the best thing for it is this, period. Just put on that, get that extra skill tier out, get the extra skill damage out. So it's a player's choice. Do you want the 3-piece Empress, Providence chest piece, Empress down here and get consistent damage? Do you want 3-piece Empress here so you can get 1 second more duration? Or do you want to just go balls out deep, hit them as hard as you can, and go Providence here, Hannah U, tech support, or combined arms? It's honestly player's choice. But the part that's not player's choice is this, the shotgun. Need to go with a shotgun that you can reload really fast, get the in-sync out, damage to armor, damage to out of cover. So go with the 612. 612 is your best weapon to go for. It's going to reach out there, snag them. It's going to give you all the benefits from it. Just go with it, honestly. Your backup weapon should be the capacitor if you're going to use Oxy. This should be your number 1. This should be your number 2. Setting it up this way, you'll just shred them just as easily as you would with the other ones, and you'll have survivability. So because you want survivability, you don't want the Providence chest piece to sacrifice, definitely go with a 3-piece Empress like this. And then gloves, skill damage, and so on. Artificer Hive to boost it even more. Actually, don't even need to show that. It's just easy. Let's see. My rainbow build. This one is my play on build. This one I call it the rainbow just because it gives me everything. It gives me 3 blue cores, 3 yellow cores, 3 red cores. I've got survivability, armor regen everywhere else, survivability. I've got crit chance, crit damage where I can put this out. I can get maxed out skills, or even with all those extra yellow cores, I can get extra weapon damage and just do damage with the skills. It's a super fun build. Matter of fact, let's go show it real quick. It's not something I would use on a day-to-day basis. It's just a fun build.
Black Tusk
this is if I get bored
and
type
has
build.
the digital forensic team to dig through the old Shade network hub. We have to shut them down.
Hostile assembling golden bullet. Golden bullet received.
As you can see, lots of fun. I'll go a little farther with this rather than just redoing it. Again, you're not going to complete any like speed run challenges or something, but you see it's just a fun build to run. The drone takes aggro off of you at times, and because the Murakami knee pads and the Artificer Hive allow you to keep your drone up for a longer duration, it's a lot of fun. And you see I'm halfway maxed out on my stacks.
The area outside the bunker entrance.
Incoming drone! No good.
Hostile completed. The golden bullet.
And then when your drone comes back to you, it also gets a refresh. So like you're its little home base kind of thing.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I don't think so. You're not getting me today. Alright.
Wait, I'm reloading. I got it. Bus visual contact.
Serious trauma detected.
Drone in the air. Tango found.
Y'all keep killing my freaking drone, jackasses. It's just a weak little drone. What'll my little drone ever do to you?
Take a look at what they've been pulling from the wreckage. We have to know how bad this is.
Like I said, it's not a strong build. It's just a fun build.
Download complete.
Huh. They've managed to compile a ton of corrupted data from the Shade network servers. I had no idea Black Tusk had access to this kind of digital forensic software.
Golden bullet complete. Golden bullet received. Hostile assembling golden bullet.
Oh yeah, I just got my drone up to level 6 by doing that. And how did I do that? Yeah, just in case. Yeah, mechanical animal. So it's currently sitting at, what is it? 6 tiers right now. So, yeah, not a strong build, just a fun build. And the reason why, again, we're using Spotter on here, and this is the main thing. If I were to, matter of fact, I don't even have that on here. You wouldn't use the mechanical animal. Honestly, what you would use is another weapon similar to it. As a matter of fact, I don't even have one on here, do I? You would put on something like, matter of fact, let me go do that real quick before I even finish with this, because I just wanted to show you the build. Let me show you how to get the most out of this one. I just put the mechanical animal on because it had that. I don't think I had another weapon. I mean, I could do the carbine 7. You could throw on a carbine 7. You could throw on whatever AR you want, as long as the AR allows for this. Guess I don't have it. Oh, that's because I haven't maxed it out. That's why. Like I said, this player... So anyways, you would just put on a weapon that allows for the laser pointer. Now, the reason you'd want the laser pointer on here is because while you're pulsing your targets, and you have this, and you have, like, say, the mechanical animal's ability to get this to level 6, the future perfection, even though this one lasts for 19 seconds versus the other one is 15 seconds, you would gain the laser pointer ability to give yourself weapon damage and skill damage to pulsed enemies, and at the same time you would have, say, a weapon like this right here, because it doesn't do a pulse. You could put on in sync and get the damage out that way, thus allowing you to put on the pulse, put on the drone, and get the most damage out. And that's why I wasn't doing as much damage. I forgot, I reset this character, got more watch points, and I forgot to get this thing out to laser pointer. So my bad. I didn't even show you all the max potential of this build, but it's a really fun build if you want to put it together. It's crit damage, armor regen, crit damage, armor regen, crit chance where you can. As a matter of fact, I got a crit chance mod I think I needed to put over here. Yep, I did. So on this build, you would just put, you'd max out your crit chance, not the crit damage in the mods, so that way your AR can get to 42. And then once you have that, you'd have X amount of crit damage, whatever it is. So 132. And that would allow you to get the crit chance, the weapon damage out. You can go with the spotter piece right here, and you get 20% for your weapon and your skill. So while your skill's out there doing damage to things you pulsed, again, you can even put on in sync, get more skill damage and weapon damage out because your skill's doing damage. Or you could go with a future perfect on a weapon. And you use the Petrov gloves for the damage to armor, because you can't get any other multiplicators, and you'd want the Murakami for that extra armor region. Now you can do, and I'm going to say this, if you do this way, and you can put on the foxes, but you want to find the ones with armor regen. So it looks like this, but consider the explosive resistance where armor regen is. And the Petrov gloves, the same. You would want to put like these ones right here. You'd put these on. Once I find the foxes, I'd do that, because that way you have 1% armor regen for sure. I think it'd be almost close to like 1.4, 1.3 armor regen, and then you'd have 3 from here, so you'd have 4.3 armor regen, and you'd lose a little bit of crit damage, but you're gaining it in multiplicative. Even though it doesn't count for your striker drone, it's for your weapon. And just have one of those, like the Petrov gloves or the Overlord knee pads, with a skill tier. So that way you have 3 skill tiers, 3 blues, 3 reds, and just literally go to town. You don't even need the capacitor. You just get a weapon within sync, and oh my god, it's so much fun. And then there's that setup. And then there use explosive resistance. Now I do not have these on this character, so I'm going to kind of explain it to you. So this is another one to get the extra damage out, so you can keep moving. And here you can put Sawyer's knee pads. Okay, put Sawyer's knee pads. It's going to allow you to avoid the stagger effect, and you get the explosive resistance the same amount as this. But you can keep moving if you use these, versus the Sawyer's you'd have to sit still for a period of time. If you don't want to worry about sitting still, you want to keep moving, get you some Foxes. Other than that, the other part that I don't have is a Lady of Death on this one. You want the Lady of Death. That way we can get close and personal to the player and hit them. Doesn't matter about what else you have, you just want a Lady of Death right here. 2-piece Sokolov for the crit chance and the crit damage and the SMG damage, Grupo, and a Seska, so that way you can get the crit chance out. And the build should look, matter of fact, let's just throw a SMG on this so you can see what it looks like with an SMG. Let's do this weapon I'm not using. So it would look like this. Your stats would look like this: 51, 159. Now, that would be with an SMG in your hands. Now, I use the Bulwark shield on this for one reason, is because if I'm running up on a player, and this is a PvP build, if I'm running up a player who's using a mortar, all I have to do is do this. Put that, and right there, say his mortar is going to land right there in front of me, this shield will take all of that and avoid some damage. If I can't avoid the mortar, the explosive resistance on my build will give me 3 chances to avoid him. So I have the ability to get up close and personal and avoid it like that, or up close and personal like this to avoid it. Either way, you want both of these on here: explosive resistance and the Bulwark shield. The other part is a jammer pulse. You don't want anything else other than the jammer pulse. The jammer pulse like this is what's going to kill his mortar. Your job is to get close and personal to avoid his mortar and even his sticky bomb, so you can jammer pulse his skill and shut him off so your teammates can get up close and personal and kill him. That's it. This build right now will not survive the traps. No matter what you do, as much explosive resistance as I have on this build, and I'm going to show you how much I have, the traps are so overpowered it will still kill me. And this is the max you can potentially have. Okay, now you can get, I think, 10% more, but that's doing like all the Richter and Kaiser crap. But that's only 10%. Even at 70%, I cannot survive the traps. No one can. That's how strong they are. That is why they're getting a nerf. Or not really a nerf, they're getting taken out of PvP. And that's pretty much simple. Now, we have Unbreakable and Adrenaline Rush for the survivability so we can get close to them. Another really fun one is a bonk build. You want the Grenadier, okay? You want the Grenadier because that's going to allow you to survive burns. That's going to put this thing up to 100% burn resistance. You see right here, we have no burn damage. The bleed and everything else is the only thing that we would be taking. Explosive, there's nothing really for explosive resistance. So they can still kill you with a mortar. So where I have armor regen, you could even put armor or explosive resistance if you wanted to. So you can survive anything. Hazard, explosives, anything. I have skill haste because nothing else benefits the build except for skill haste, so that way we can get these skills back. But a simple bonk build like this, you would have the Lady of Death where I have the capacitor. You want the Wyvern holster right here, and you want hazard protection. And you want 2-piece Golan, so you can have armor regen, 1-piece Murakami, 1-piece Bellstone, and 1-piece Yalgear for the hazard protection. So when you're done with this, the build is literally going to have 4% armor regen right here. I think it's 4.1, 4.2% armor regen compared to this. And that away, no matter what they do, you just get up close and personal. Now, the other part to this is the hive. The booster hive is also going to give you more melee damage. So basically what you would end up doing is you see some of these players, they get close and personal, they drop their hive, they get this boost to them, and then they're running up close, and then smack. You know, they just hit them. And that's basically it. You run up to them, smack, hit them. Now, you don't have to use a shield. You don't have to. You can just run up and smack them. Run up and smack them. But the main part is you got to drop that hive to get this. Run up, smack them. Now, because you don't need the hive, or you don't need the adrenaline rush intimidate anymore, you can literally, and I mean this, you can literally drop off the shield and put on, what is it? Take off the adrenaline rush. You can put on pulse to get extra damage out against the player, and then leave on this and say trade. Actually, I wouldn't really trade it. I would just find you a Golan with a pulse, and then put on a pulse right here, or have one of your teammates running a pulse, and just run up and bonk them. Like, literally, that's all you have to do. You do not have to use this. I just have the perfect intimidate on because it's still there. This is an old build. Still a good bonk build. But again, the only difference is put Lady of Death here. Don't use capacitor. Bonk. And then this here is my regen build. This is the final build that I have. I need to find another set that has crit damage so I can roll it to armor or weapon damage. But the build is still the same. As you can see, we got 2 blues, we got 4 reds, and we have this all the way together. You can run whatever weapon you want. I would prefer to use Lady of Death here. You could use Scorpio, you can use whatever you want, you can use Shield Splinter, whatever weapons you prefer on this build. The build still runs the same. What's interesting though is this. I'll show y'all. We can even do the math real quick for an armor regen. What is it? It's 52,700 divided by 1100,016. This is literally a 4.79% armor regen. What's interesting, and the reason I say this is interesting, is I have a Grupo here, which you can put a Sokolov, but you would definitely use a Lady of Death. What's interesting about this is, if I go up in armor on this right here, this build alone, I just lose a small amount of armor regen. We're talking very minuscule, but at the same time it also goes back up. Now what I mean by a small amount of armor regen is we go from like around 5% armor regen to somewhere close to 4%. So the more armor I put on this build, the more it goes down in percentage from 5 to 4, but we'd still be sitting at the same. So for instance, if I were to go do this right now, let me just go show you, since I got all the credits. Do I have? Let's put some more on there.
Hey, you looking for something special?
So now I'm all blue, right?
You need anything?
So now if we do the math, originally I was at 4.79% armor regen, okay? That's what I was. So we go 75,141 divided by 18,48019. I'm now at 4%. So I've lost 0.79% armor regen. That's it. The build doesn't change. You still get to keep everything. It's just, does the player want to play with more damage or more survivability by doing this way? I mean, either way, no matter what I do, I'm still going to have the same survivability. It's just, do you want more damage? So, this is 4% armor regen, minus the backpack, because I can't get the 3%. So if I increase this, I would actually get 7%, because I'm getting 3% more on the backpack right now. And if I went with the 4.7, we're talking almost 8% armor regen. We're talking almost 8% armor regen if I max out the backpack. So, while I was talking, I didn't show you all the 4%. My bad. So that's 4%. So I can double that just by maxing out this backpack. As a matter of fact, let me now, the other reason why I have the firewall on is because I've got health on kill. I've got the armor regen, so I might as well go with health on kill. So while we're doing that, let's go down here and oh, my chat disconnected. Hello. All right.
Black Tusk have infiltrated the bunker and have sent a digital forensic team to dig through the old Shade network hub. We have to shut them down.
Move up and search. I'm with you. Found the hostile. Let's go. We lost one.
Hostile assembling a golden bullet. Agent received a golden bullet.
Concentrate fire.
Hostile completed a golden bullet.
I'm hit again.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I'll put him down.
I don't think so. You thought you had me. I'll make you come out.
Take it like a man. Light him up. Your lead.
Agent
Oh,
killed.
they did get me. And again, that's another reason why I'm telling y'all I don't like running all this armor at times. But it is what it is. It happened.
Let him come. Okay.
And I don't have everything maxed out on this character either. I don't even have a Lady of Death.
Fucker, here. Friendly is down. Tango built that one. Out there. Cover. Also here.
Agent
You gotta be
deceased.
kidding me. Oh my god, that's what I gotta reset this build. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right. Anyway, here you see too much blue. You have a lot of survivability, but at the same time, you have no damage. That's another reason why I was trying to explain to y'all. The more you go up in this, the worse it can get. So finding those pieces, they give you the ability to trade, like I did with the armor here, wherever. It just makes the more damage. And not only that, the Lady of Death, because you get the extra damage out that way, it's better. And I don't have one on this character, so I can't really show it unless I go to the other character and throw it over here. So this is not going to be a good test or show for this build until I get those. So anyway, that was this build, the armor regen one. It's the most that you're going to get with the damage. It's the most you're going to get with the piece itself. So sorry if it wasn't a good demonstration with this one. But again, we're using this for the health on kill. When it comes down to the specialist for when this stuff changes, honestly, it's going to be player's choice. You still want to run with this if it has the firewall shield, which you can throw anywhere, and you can put the armor on kill for this. So if you want to, your best thing would be to put the armor on kill here, the firewall shield, and just kind of go to town. But that's all the builds I have. That's every build I've tested in this game. All of them that I've put together. So now, I guess if anybody's got any other questions or anything about it.
Entering safe
Laser
area.
pointer on the dare. You can put the laser pointer on the dare.
It's hard to look.
I've got what you want.
What I remember, you can. Let's do this. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, no, you can't. Oh. Well, what the hell was it that I was able to put that on then? Oh, that's right. It wasn't the dare, it was one of these. Was it the GR9 or was it the maybe it was a stoner. I can't remember. It was one of these. Which, I mean, hell, they're the fucking same thing. Damn it. It was one of these. I know what you're talking about. I think I got them confused. No, I guess it's not. Oh, that's what it was. My bad. Never mind. I had a brain fart. It was this one. Yeah, I don't know why so many people want to use the dare. It was LMG like this. The pig. The good times. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I don't know why people love the dare. To me, personally, this is like the Bullet King on steroids. Let me show you. Now, before we get into this, we have crit hit damage here. You can literally, and I do mean this, you can put rounds later on. You'll be able to put that on there so you can have 150. Go with this because you don't need the crit hit damage. You do need the crit chance and the crit chance up here. Laser pointer. Again, 9 times out of 10, people are going to be giving you the Coyotes procs. And because they're giving you the Coyotes procs, you get the crit chance. Instant reload, pretty much. And you're hitting for so hard per bullet. And yeah, it may be shooting slower, but you're able to land those shots better. And then you get that fast reload. So it's the Bullet King on steroids. All will be revamped, I guess. Firewall Med is stupid OP in PvP and can deal unfair advantage. That's always been like that. Thanks for showing gear dies on that video a month back. I couldn't find any gear dies showing them off. I was mainly looking for season pass. What's up, bro? Greetings all. My clan leader is a big fan. Cool, appreciate it. Message retracted. Message retracted. Do you have an Eagle Bearer build for PvP? Yeah, I already showed that one. It's not the loadouts are getting erased. It's more or less just trading certain specialists and skills to different specialists. Sorry if my mic was breaking up. You got another stealth nerf they pulled on us? Yes, very stealth nerf. About the Artificer Hive, I'm assuming, because that was the only one I talked about. I have a gut feeling that we will never see the specialist rework. Yes, we will see it. They said it's coming. It's just a question of whether or not we're going to see it on TU16 or TU17. We will see it. It's just a question of when. What do you think of a Murakami on the Oxy build? Wouldn't be useful, honestly, because skill duration is only 1 second. 1 second versus getting damage up, not worth it. DZ tonight, possibly. I'll more than likely be off. I got to get back to the semi. How hard does your drone hit? Are you talking about on my skill build? Because right now it can hit 81k, which if I max it out, the max drone damage $183,798. Show you how to make a trap
Requesting backup.
hive build. I want to see yours because I know you know what you're talking about. Are you talking about trap hive for the dark zone, or because my trap build that I have, and I don't typically run anything. If I am going to run a trap build, I run this build. I typically don't run traps and hives together. But that's this build. It was showed earlier. It's a trap build. Hazard Pro everywhere. skill haste. 4 core yellows using 1, 2, 3, 4 for the traps. 3 core blues. 1 piece yellow, 1 piece spellstone. Honestly, the best Lady of Death build I've come across for PvP, because there's not one for PvE. Lady of Death isn't that good. It's honestly this. Lady of Death build, go make you this. You'll love it. It's super strong, honestly, because the damage to armor will increase your status effects, and because they have to be within a certain range for this to even proc. Just go get you 2-piece Sokolov, go get you 1-piece Grupo. If you can make it 5 blues, go ahead. I just haven't found that piece yet. Status effects, crit damage everywhere, because you don't need the crit chance. And then go with Petrov gloves for the extra damage to armor, which gives your status effects more damage. The damage targets that it cover will help your gun get more damage out. And yeah, it literally shreds players. So that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen, unless there's any more questions. Alright, if nothing else, y'all have a good one.